meeting for February 11th, 2026. Can you all rise for the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think we have a pretty long agenda tonight. We're going to try to get through it as best we can, and we're going to start with the approval of our minutes.
Mayor, we have one set of minutes from Wednesday, January 28th at 6 p.m. normal city council meeting, and I make a motion to approve them.
Can we get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, we're going to swear in our new election board members. We have Ms. Patsy Ward and Mr. Anthony Jackson, who will be joining our election board. We did have Ms. Lynette Cotman, who is coming off of the board, and then we had a vacant seat. So we do have an election that will be coming up, and I am very pleased that both of them have agreed to serve with us. So I'll go ahead. If there's any questions before we do this. No questions? Okay, then we will go ahead and we'll do our swearing in. Let's see, we'll start. Let's see, who did I ask first? You're on this side, ladies first. If you will come up, Mrs. Ward. And we will ask you, let's see, back up for me just a little bit, face this way, and if you raise your right hand, and once we're done, we'll have you sign the book for us. Do you, Mrs. Patsy Frock, do you,
Patsy
Ward, let me get that right, yes, Frock Ward. Do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, and that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland, and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that you will, to the best of your skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Board of Elections member of the city of Crisfield, according to the Constitution of laws of this state?
I do.
Thank you. And if I can get you to sign right there. You want to do one at a time? Okay, so after I do him, then we'll take care of it. Thank you very much. I will sign, and we'll ask you to have a seat for a second. I'm going to do Mr. Anthony Jackson, and then we'll come up for a picture with Richard. Okay? A picture with, I know. Anthony Ward. Anthony Jackson. So I'm having trouble with last names today, guys. Please forgive me. I'm still got road jet lag or something. So, Mr. Anthony Jackson, do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, and that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland, and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that you will, to the best of your skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Board of Elections member of the city of Crisfield, according to the Constitution of laws of this state?
I will.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And if you will sign right there. Thank you. And if you'll stay there, and I'll ask council that are present if they will come around, and we will do it all at once. Come on, Miss Ward. We'll slide you guys down for a moment. Thank you. Come on around, everybody. Slide this way just a little bit. Come this way just a little. Okay. We're done? Okay, thank you guys so much. Thank you. We appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay. Oh, yeah, she told me. Okay. Thank you very much, and again, welcome. We appreciate you. And at this time, we're gonna keep moving. We have PKS here with us, and Miss Alyssa and Mrs. Revelle. Is that how?
Revelle.
It is the right way. Okay, all right. So they're here to tell us about our audit for this year.
I'll start out just with a quick introduction.
Yes, thank you.
You know, most of you know us as we've been your auditors for quite a while. I'm Andy Haney. I'm the partner in charge of the audit. Alyssa Revelle, who manages the audit, is here with me, and she's going to present some of the financial highlights tonight. You want me to stand up? Or
Speak up.
Speak up.
They can't hear you.
Sorry.
Yes, yeah, that is definitely an issue. We have Facebook Live, so thank you.
So, we're gonna present some highlights of your audit tonight, and just so everybody knows and council knows, we previously discussed the detailed draft financial statements with the mayor and Joyce, I believe yesterday.
Yeah.
So, we've been through this, so like I said, we're gonna do some high-level highlights, and we'll take any questions or comments after that, and if there's no specific questions, then we'll finalize the audit and we'll be done for another year.
Okay, yep, let's go. Thank you very much.
So in front of you, you have the highlight packet that I'm gonna go off of, so if you wanna refer to that as I talk. I'm gonna first go over the 3 reports that are included within the audit. The first one is your independent auditor's report, this covers your basic financial statements and states our opinion on the statements in accordance with GAAP. And we are happy to report that we issued a clean or unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that we can give as auditors. And the second report included is your government auditing standards report. This is not an opinion report, but it states whether we identified any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies and any non-compliance issues. We did have one material weakness, which is a repeat from the prior years. This is something that we see across many towns and cities because they don't employ a certified public accountant in order to produce these statements like this. So it's not unusual, and we're required to report it. And then we did not identify any instances of noncompliance. And then the third report included in the statements is your uniform guidance report. This report is required if the city spends over $750,000 in federal monies during the year. For fiscal year 2025, the city spent about $1.3 million. And this report just states that we did not have any instances of noncompliance in regard to the direct and material testing of the major program that we tested, which was the ARPA monies. And we stated that the schedule of expenditures of federal award was fairly stated in relation to the statements as well.
You know, just so, there was no compliance findings there also, and that's the important item, more so than the financial statement item that we did mention where we assist preparing the financial statements. Just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
And then we'll move on to the numbers. So first we're going to talk about your general fund statement of revenues and expenditures. So the general fund focuses on near-term or short-term inflows and outflows, and this includes your general government, your public safety, your streets and highways, sanitation and waste removal. So for 2025, the total revenue in the general fund was about $4.5 million. Total expenses were about $5.3 million, leading to a revenue under expenditures of about $102,000 for the year. And this is mainly due to the fluctuations of grant revenue and expenditures. It's hard to budget your grants because you don't know when a project's going to actually happen, so it's really hard to do that. And then I want to point out some budget variances. So for the revenues were over the planned budget by about $1.8 million. And the large portion of this, about 1.2, is your grants, because they're really hard to budget for year to year. And then your expenses had an unfavorable variance, or the expenditures were over the budget by about $734,000. And most of that is the It Takes a Village grant expense, because that was probably budgeted for whenever that project started.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So that's the majority of that fluctuation there.
Just just to mention
Clarify.
something about the grants also, it can be a little confusing, because like some of the money, for example, the ARPA money, you guys actually received a good portion of that several years ago.
Right.
But it never gets recognized as revenue until it's actually expended. So it just sat on your balance sheet as something that was gonna come into revenue once it was expended. As the ARPA money is winding down.
Now it's gone,
And now
and we're
it's,
feeling it.
you know,
Absolutely.
but as that wound down, that's when the expenditures came into being. So that's why the revenue's recognized now, although you actually had the funds a few years ago on the ARPA funds.
Yeah, thank you. And let me clarify too about the village for those who may not understand. What happens is that money was sitting there because it was not used until we finally have used up that money this year. So now that's why that's reflected as, that's why it's reflected in our expenditures this year.
Then next, I'll talk about your general fund balance. So the fund balance is your difference between your assets, what you own, and your liabilities, what you owe. So for the year ended 2025, the total fund balance was about $209,000, and it's categorized based on how you're going to spend it. So the non-spendable portion is your prepaids, about $106,000. Then you have a restricted portion of about $26,000, and then unassigned of about $77,000. This did take a dip for fiscal 2025, but it also fluctuates based on your liabilities and assets. So at the end of the year, you had a pretty large payable due, which caused that to go down.
That was the Delmarva Builders. That was the one that we paid at the end of the year. It was about $200,000. That was part of the armoring. So that's what took us down to where.
And then next, I'm gonna just show you a breakdown of your general fund revenues for the year. So total revenues were about $4.5 million. Your largest source of revenues is your taxes, real and personal, which was about $1.6 million, or 37% of your total revenues. And then another significant source of revenue is your internal governmental or grants, which was about $1.8 million, or 40% of the total revenues for the year. Compared to last year, your revenues did increase by about $1 million, but a large portion of that was that grant from the It Takes a Village, which was about $701,000 of that increase.
Money in, money out.
And then next is a breakdown of your general fund expenditures. So the total expenditures for the year were about $5 million. The largest expense is one of the largest expenditures is your public safety, which is about $1.2 million, or 24%. And then your economic development of about $1.3 million, or 25%. And that includes a lot of the grant expenditures, which is the It Takes a Village, $701,000 is in there.
So just to make sure council does understand, so if you're looking at those two numbers, the economic development is the grants.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that
Grants and
is.
projects.
Grants and projects that the city actually has received the revenue for.
So compared to last year, your expenditures did increase by about $617,000. And like I said, the majority of that is that It Takes a Village expense that went out this year, about $701,000. Moving on to your enterprise funds, this is made up of mostly your water and sewer fund. So for fiscal 2025, your operating revenues were about $2.3 million, and your operating expenditures were about $2 million, resulting in a revenue over expenditures of about $192,000. So it did go positive compared to last year. However, this does not include any of your principal payments made throughout the year, which for fiscal 2025 was about $100,000. You take that out, you're going down again to like $100,000. And then after non-operating revenues, which includes your grant revenues and your interest, income, and expense, you had an increase in net position of about $489,000. And then like your general fund, I'm going to go through your expenditures and revenues by breakdown. So for the enterprise fund, this is broken down by type of expense, or revenue, sorry. The total revenues for the year are about $3 million. Your largest source, of course, is your water and sewer service revenues. Your sewer service was about $1.5 million, or 48%, and your water was about $758,000, or 25%. Another significant source is the grant revenues of about $705,000. and these fluctuate year to year based on when you receive or recognize your grant revenues. Compared to last year, your total revenues in the enterprise fund decreased by about $245,000. And then for your expenditures in your enterprise funds, you had total expenditures of about $2.2 million for the year. Your largest area of expenditure is depreciation of about $703,000, which is a non-cash expense, but it is the annual wear and tear on your infrastructure and capital assets, like all the water and sewer infrastructure. After that, the largest expense is your other expense of about $499,000, which is made up of your other operating expenses for water and sewer, uniforms, water and sewer testing, water and sewer vehicles, basically catch-all for everything else. Then third is your salaries and wages, about $372,000. Compared to last year, expenditures did decrease by about $199,000. And then next is your net position in your enterprise fund. So in the general fund, we talk about fund balance. In the enterprise fund, we call it net position. This in the enterprise funds, we look at more long-term items such as your capital assets. So for the year ended 2025, the enterprise fund had a total net position of about $11.6 million. Majority of that is your capital assets, your infrastructure, and less any related debt. So at the end of the year, the unrestricted total had a deficit of about $391,000. This did significantly improve from the prior year. The prior year had an unrestricted deficit of about $1 million, so pretty significant improvement from the prior year. The deficit is mainly stemming from that sewer fund deficit, which your sewer fund has your largest amount of debt, and it also includes that $1.5 million of windmill loan forgiveness liability, and then also deferred revenue for the year.
And that, that one, the windmill is, it's not something you're gonna have to pay, but unfortunately it does stay as a liability until the entirety of that contract is forgiven, because you get a portion of that forgiven every year without actually making a cash payment on it every year. That's kind of how that grant worked.
So someday it will be better, but it's not gonna be better anytime soon.
That will be off your
Right,
books
that's not
someday.
gonna happen, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. I
It's
don't even know
getting
how many more
closer.
years we got. I don't even know. You know how many
We're
years?
in year 9 now.
Of
so-
what?
Of 30, I believe.
It's not gonna be in our time, absolutely.
So next, something we like to look at is your working capital in your water and sewer fund. So this is your current assets less your current liabilities, and it offers a buffer for meeting obligations. The GFOA recommends at least 45 days. The town was negative 15 at the end of fiscal 2025, but this can fluctuate based on cash or current assets at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, at a point in time, the cash basically was cut in half, and your liabilities remained pretty much the same, which is causing that negative 15. So, like I said, it fluctuates based on your current assets at a point in time.
And we know our water and sewer issues, there's no question about it.
Yep, and, we always talk during the presentation that it's important that we look at the revenue from operations or loss from operations, minus all of the grant stuff, because that's the true picture of how the past year, as far as operations went. But this is also important because this brings in things like the principal payments on the loans, where that's not included in the operations, because those principal payments aren't included there. That's a balance sheet item. That's, that is taken into account here to a degree, so.
And then next, I just want to point out GASB that we introduced this year, implemented this year, GASB statement number 101, compensated absences. This took effect last year, so we had to restate last year and then implement it this year as well. So in the past, the town has only recognized a liability for unused vacation time. This statement requires us to also record a liability for unused sick time. Even though it's not paid out at termination, we have to estimate how much sick time will be used, an estimation, a big estimation, how much sick time will be used at the employee at the end of the year to their end of employment. So it's a pretty big estimation, but we did have to implement that this year. So at the end of the year for 2025, total accrued compensated absence of about 203,000.
So if I-
This standard, if some of you remember, probably 4 to 5 years ago, it's similar to when the pension standard came into being. So basically, the pension standard and this standard takes figures that are calculated by actuaries, and they come up with what a normal employee of a municipality would typically take in sick time normally, and then they calculate a cost out, or an amount out based on that cost, and that's applied to each time. So while it's not, who's to say if those calculations are actually right, because they may be saying an average employee is gonna be sick 15 times over the next year, and you're gonna have to pay that employee's salary while they're sick. Well, maybe that employee is sick 5 times, maybe they're not sick at all.
Right.
Maybe it's twice that. So, I say all that to say it's a large liability on your books. That is really an estimate, just like the pension, when that was put into place, because, if you remember the huge adjustment with the pension a few years back, most of the municipalities we work with have always paid the amount they're supposed to into the pension every year. They're given a number by the state retirement system that says, hey, City of Crisfield, you have to pay, let's say, $100,000 this year to cover your pension. You pay that, 100% of that. And then they came back and said, well, that $100,000 we told you to pay may be $200,000. It may be $80,000. So again, it's
Same way here.
it's
You
a
won't
lot
know.
of guessing
Right.
as to what the
You can't know.
liability
Yeah,
is.
you can't know who's
No.
gonna take how much sick leave.
No.
It's just not possible to know. But should everyone get sick and take all of their sick leave, this is what the city would have to pay out, basically is what you're telling me, correct?
That's basically what we're telling you, and, every municipality is facing this same thing this year, just like they did with the pension liability, so,
Makes sense.
it's a big adjustment.
Where we are.
But it's required to be there.
Thank you.
And then looking ahead, there's a couple pronouncements that are upcoming for next year. None of them will have a huge effect on the town financially. It's mainly just disclosures and how things are presented in your footnotes and MD&A. But I just wanted to make you aware of those. Gag statement number 103 and gag statement number 104. And then just briefly talk about the other packet that you usually get, which is your auditor's communications. This includes 2 letters and then our list of journal entries that we made for fiscal 2025. The first letter is your management letter, which just has some best practices and recommendations for operating efficiencies. And the second letter is your communication with those charged with governance. And this just has a lot of standard audit language that we are required to report to you, which is, we didn't have any difficulties during the audit. We had no disagreements with management. We reviewed and agreed with all your estimates in your statements, no non-compliance issues, and that we implemented that new GASB 101. And then, like I said, it also includes your listing of journal entries, proposed journal entries that we made for the audit. And that's it. Any questions?
Fantastic. You guys have done an amazing job. I want to give council an opportunity to ask whatever questions they may have, but I definitely appreciate, I know the work that goes into this. I've seen every time you guys come to our office and set up shop, and you guys are diligent. You bring your entire team, and you do an amazing job. So, council, any questions? Questions?
Just page 11, payroll and taxes. Salaries last year were less than this year, but the payroll and taxes is like 30,000 less, that kind of, is
That
that?
also has your pension,
The pension and
not
that,
just payroll taxes.
yeah, the other standard that we put in there, that we just discussed, the 101.
The $203,000 is in
That's
there.
split in,
It's where-
that was the total, so that was split between water, sewer, and the general government also, so I'm not sure That's the enterprise fund,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay.
that's the water and sewer part of it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and that is only, that is water and sewer. Is there anything else in enterprise funds other than
Your
water and
Browns
sewer?
Court and,
The rental for Brown's Court?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's basically what it is.
Less too, yeah, little.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the industrial fund.
Yeah, we have some
which-
apartments not rented,
Yeah,
that's why,
yeah, the industrial fund's still there, but there's
It
really
is.
nothing,
yeah.
that we
There's-
really,
yeah, there's
Okay.
no activity or anything really in there anymore. The only other part is just that small Brown's Court part.
And page 12, partnership rental housing, negative 528 something. What is that?
That's Brown's Court,
That's Brown's Court.
that's Brown's
That's
Court.
that
Now,
debt that's on there.
and
so-
there was a apartment vacant,
The value of it.
so that's a change in the revenue.
Thank you.
any other questions, council? Council Langford?
No, I don't have any questions.
Is Vice Council Banks still there? I don't see him. Tiffany, is he on?
He's on there, yep,
Okay.
muted.
Yeah, he's muted, yep.
No question.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, I want to thank you guys. You guys do an amazing job. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And our team, because I know it's a lot of data, and I know that Joyce and Jen and Tiffany, I mean, everybody puts a lot of effort into it. Val, LaFabian, the entire team. I know you guys have a lot
We
of,
asked for a lot of stuff, they gave us a lot of stuff.
absolutely.
And we're there for like a week, so.
Yes,
We
yes,
invade
yes.
their, we invade their space for a week. And
But you
an
guys
hour
do
or two.
fantastic, and we appreciate it. We know, from our standpoint, we gotta find revenue at the end of the day. That is what we have to do, that's what we're charged to do. So you guys will do a great job of helping us to understand, where we are and the things that we need to address. So again, I wanna thank you guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate your
And
time.
they help us all year long as well. We reach out, as we have been lately, to
Yes.
Melissa and Andy, working on the grants that we need.
Data
different
for.
numbers- Different numbers for.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes, you guys have been at our beck and call whenever we have reached out, and specifically, we've been reaching out, trying to get some information so that we can, try to get some things done at our wastewater treatment plant, so we thank you for that. Okay, fantastic.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Sure, sure, we won't make you. Yeah, okay. All right, and now we are getting ready for our second reader for ordinance 735, which is our critical area zoning. Andrew's gonna walk us through that process. We had our public input this evening.
Correct. So, in the interest of saving time, this is ordinance 735, the public hearing was earlier. This did 2 meetings through the planning commission, we did the first reading last month. It's a complete repeal and replace of the current critical area law, so as we said during the public hearing, the city cannot be less stringent than the state standard, so even before this is even passed, if you went in for an application and you're in the critical area in the last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever law was in effect at the state level, if it was more stringent than the city's law, that law controlled. So this is just really a bring to date that the state law mandates, that all municipalities, all local governments do with, every couple of years. The map has to be done every couple of years. The map, as was said during the public hearing, not much of a change. In fact, if anything, actually a couple of properties are coming out of the critical area. And then the Somerset County zoning ordinance and critical area ordinance applies for everyone outside the city. So this only controls inside the city limits. So that's it, and then going forward, if it passes, it'll be in effect pretty shortly thereafter. So copies have been made available at City Hall. During the public hearing, there wasn't really any expression against. I don't really think there's a need to do another work session on this at the mayor and council level, or referring it back to planning commission. When we were at planning commission, we didn't really get any public feedback there either, so that is a summation. I know we have a full hearing tonight, so I don't really wanna read the whole thing in full, but
Does council need it reread? Does anyone feel they need it reread? Councilman Langford or Vice Council Banks, either of you feel you need it reread?
No, I don't.
Okay, well then, Andrew, I think we are good. There were a couple of people that were here for the public, input session, and then they did have questions, and we were able, I hope, to answer those questions for them,
I believe so, but there was no one here completely against it,
right?
no one looking for more stringent, requirements, so I think through the process, it's followed the state law process, followed the city code process. This is the next logical step for a vote tonight, move forward.
So if no one has any more questions or from the council, then, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance number
Put that back.
735.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I don't hear, vice counsel, but we have a quorum. Motion carried.
All right.
Okay, fantastic. We are back to our earmark opportunities, everyone. And so we didn't get any real new ones other than the ones that were mentioned the last time. No one reached out with any new ones, but I'm asking Ms. Merritt to just talk about, our conversations about where we are with it. But please understand, council, that you still have an opportunity to say which way you would like this to go. The earmark is a congressionally directed spending, and we have done several of them, and the opportunity is opening up again soon. I don't think the portal's open yet.
For Congressman Harris, it is open,
It
it's
is.
due March 13th, and
Okay.
the estimate is that it will be a similar time for Senator Van Hollen and also.
Okay, all right, so tell us what we looked at.
Okay, so we looked at the wastewater treatment plant, which was submitted for last year and not approved. However, I think that we have more information this year that may make that a stronger application. That would be a $2 million application to bring us up to date with all the equipment that needs replaced or repaired at the wastewater treatment plant. Raising South Somerset, which we've talked about before, would be about $10 million. That includes replacing a good deal of the wastewater lines underneath the road, increasing the drainage capacity along the sides of the road, and tying in I believe it includes tying in the driveways to anything adjacent to the road. Norris Harbor Drive is approximately $4.7 million. And you all are familiar with the need for Norris Harbor Drive. I am not able to give you the amount of match that we would need because for each of these projects, there are multiple potential funding sources that in the end are determined by the legislation and not on our end. So the match amount varies from 0 to 25% depending on the grant source. We may also be able to get exceptions even if match is required. As I said, Congressman Harris's office is due March 13th, so that's very close in grant time. And most likely the senator's offices will be due on a similar date. The wastewater treatment plant is the recommendation, even though all of these are extremely important projects, and that is in part because it could be funded with a single source. So earmark opportunities usually don't exceed $2 million. So to fund South Somerset, most likely we would need to get 5 earmarks or 5 funding sources funneled into that, and similar like 2 or more funding sources for Norris Harbor. So most likely our strongest chance would be for the wastewater treatment plant. That said, we have talked to the legislator's office about South Somerset. They are supportive of that. Just the larger the project and the more funding involved, the more complex it becomes to try to get that through.
Okay, so council, this is a conversation, in all honesty, this is a conversation. The only reason, like Jim said, the recommendation is the wastewater treatment plant is because we know that need is immediate. However, it still takes a while to get that funding. The concern is that we right now do not have a way to fund that upgrade, although we did apply for, the SRF.
Yeah, 2 different MDE sources.
Yes,
Yeah.
the SRF and a new one, the ENR grant.
Right, the ENR is through the Bay Restoration Fund, so it's through a different funding source.
Right, but we did apply for some things, in both of those. Do you remember how much we applied for, what the total was?
We applied for almost the full 2 million through the SRF because that is what was needed. They were, Moonshot was able to remove a few items to bring that cost down to just address the most immediate needs. And then for the Bay Restoration Fund, that's really looking for an engineering firm to give an overview of exactly what's needed. So I think that one was around 200,000.
So the other one was more, an engineering type of a grant. So the reality of it is, you guys are gonna have to weigh in here, but we know we need to do something with the wastewater treatment plant. So if we were to get the SRF, that would take care of a lot of those things. So then if we were to get this earmark as well, we would have to be looking at other things at the wastewater treatment plant to use it for. So there is an opportunity here. You guys could say, hey, go ahead for South Somerset or North Harbor. The wastewater treatment plant is almost written. We'd have to, I'm sure, change it some. But we applied for, it was called the Clean Water Initiative, and it did not get forwarded through. That was the one we did not get forwarded through. But then when I talked to, it was Senator Van Hollen's office, Alyssa said, definitely, we want you guys to put that back in. But, we can choose to put in what we want to put in. So I need you guys to weigh in here. This is kind of where we are.
One thing I wanted to ask, and this is going back, how much are we required to match for the fire department? Do we remember?
I believe it was
It is.
450,000.
So that's a significant number.
Yep.
And that's something that I'm concerned about with the federal earmarks. I know we've talked about this before, Mayor, but I think PKS was just here, it's a shame, but they probably didn't have the data, but I think we really do need to have a conversation with them about our debt limit and what we can incur, especially, I mean, if the city keeps applying for the earmarks every year, I know we don't always get them, and that happens, that's fine. But I'm concerned about the debt amount that we would be accepting with the match. I know we always say, okay, we're gonna get match grants.
Well, we have
the match, they're not guaranteed though, and we gotta keep that in our mind.
Yeah,
I don't want us to kick the can down the road to where, we've gotta do a big change, dramatic.
We're probably going to say the same. We might say the same thing, but yes, absolutely. We do have to consider what we would be having to pay out in match. But we also want to consider the position that we normally find ourselves in. Match is not always cash. So what we are usually able to do is to be able to have a different project that would match that project.
So was there
in a lot of
any
cases.
in-kind match for the fire department? Because I don't remember any.
So far, there isn't any right now, but we don't know that in
Yeah.
terms of, we don't know that for sure yet.
I just think from my standpoint, to go forward, I'd really like to have that conversation with PKS. What is our debt limit? What are we looking at? I know it was 2 years ago that we had that conversation. I know you brought it in about how much match we had and the match, and that was great because we were talking about the federal funds.
Right, and we had funding to match the entire 36 million.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
We
So
had
I want to have that
non-cash
conversation
match.
again,
Right.
if it's possible.
Well, I'm sure, we can definitely have that conversation. Go ahead, Jen. You want to jump in? Go ahead.
Sure, I was gonna say, 2 things. One is that for both our city dock earmark and our business incubator earmark, there is no match.
Right.
And the other
Right.
thing that I wanted to suggest, and I don't know, the attorney and you all might have thoughts on this, we may be able to apply and with the caveat that we would only ask them to go forward into legislation if there's an opportunity for no match.
And we do have that option. I mean, we always have that option to accept the earmark or not to accept the earmark. And you guys get to make that vote. So once we what we don't want to do is lose an opportunity to get funding to make the changes that
Well, and I'm
that
not,
we absolutely
I just
have
wanna
to
be
make
clear,
to
because
this
I'm not
wastewater treatment
arguing
plant.
about missing that opportunity, but when
Right.
we start talking about trying to raise South Somerset and wastewater treatment plants,
Mm-hmm.
we know, we've discussed, there's other ways that we can solve some wastewater sewer plant opportunities, so if we tie up what we can match in the
Mm-hmm.
wastewater sewer treatment plant and we miss an opportunity to raise South Somerset or fix Norris Harbor Drive, how much good are we doing? That's kind of where I'm getting at. I want us to pay attention to our matches and what we're gonna be required to pay, what loans we're gonna have to pull out potentially to pay back this $450,000 for the fire department and say another $500,000 for the wastewater sewer treatment plant. That's all I'm just trying to
And
get
no,
at.
and I think it's a good point. So yeah, I think it is an absolutely good point. But what you just said was, if we're looking at either of these things, we still have to look at the opportunity. We have to have, we can definitely have that discussion as to what is our debt limit and what can we take on, should there be match associated with them. But what she has up here is it's between 0 and 25%. So we don't know that there will be a match, but, and this needs to go in by March the 13th.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Yes, yeah, so I don't think not applying for it is an option. We just have to decide what we want to apply
If we're
for.
saying the wastewater sewer treatment plant's already created, could the conversation with PKS happen within the next 2-week period of, do we know where our debt limit's at, where can we go from here on the current debts that we have, like potentially $450,000, and then by the next meeting, we could be ready to make a decision on this, in my eyes. I mean, you know, if council wants to make a decision now, they're more than welcome to make a decision now.
The question is, I want council to decide, because going for one of these, we need to go for one of them. We do need to take an opportunity to get the funding to fix the major problems that we have. And right now, I consider the wastewater treatment plant the biggest problem that we have. South Somerset will help us a lot in terms of the flooding. So we think that's a big deal, and you guys are really concerned about Norris Harbor Drive. I am as well, but I in terms of the three, that would be the order of issues. However, because we're looking at wastewater treatment plant in other places, if you guys think that one of these other two is okay, what I'm saying is that regardless of what comes out of our meeting with PKS, what we need to understand is that we want to go after one of these things.
No, I'm not disagreeing with
Okay.
that, but I'm saying, so if we fix one problem here, and it's wastewater sewer treatment plant or South Somerset, we're potentially adding to the debt limit. What is more important to add to the debt limit is what I'm arguing.
Which
okay?
of these do you
Exactly.
think depends on what our
And
debt
if we
limit
go
still
forward
is?
saying we're not gonna accept it if
Yeah.
it's no match there
Yeah.
without knowing PKS's report, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am concerned about the debt limit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been.
And rightfully so, we all are. So don't get me wrong, we are all concerned, and Jen and I have that conversation every time we look at a grant. And she'll let me know if there's a match and how much that match is. We just went through that whole process with the Gerald Ditch project that we're looking at. So we're all concerned about that. We just don't want to miss an opportunity to fix a critical problem. And so I'm okay with having that conversation. If you guys want to defer this and bring it back, then I'm okay with that. What I'm asking you though is to be thinking about which of these things is most critical, because we need to fix these problems and we need to look at this opportunity. We want to minimize the match, I 100% agree, but I want you guys to be thinking about which of these things you would really want to go after.
Could I say two things? And one, and this just occurred to me while Councilman Goldsboro was talking. So the MDE funding that we applied for, that is usually what they call principal forgiveness, which is really functionally a grant and part debt. And Moonshot expected a significant portion of it to be loan, right? So we're not talking about $2 million in grant from MDE. And the other thing is that state funds do match federal funds. So right there, our MDE funds, were they to be approved, could be our match to our wastewater treatment plant. But, you know,
Right.
I have strong feelings.
What
about
we're looking
the
at
other
is-
ones are
yes,
too, but I
yes.
just wanted to say one additional thing. And waiting another 2 weeks to start writing is
Yeah,
gonna
not
be
really an option. Yeah,
really
that's not an
tough.
option.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
really tough.
So the question that I think we need to answer is, which of these things would we want to go after? And if the debt ceiling doesn't allow us to, then we don't have to accept it. That's you guys' call in terms of when it comes to you. Then you guys can say, we don't want to accept this $10 million, because that's where the biggest match would be if there were any. The truth of the matter is, the South Somerset is also part of the flood mitigation project, which means that there are other places that we can get that match that are definitely not cash match. So if we were looking at going with South Somerset, the likelihood of us being able to get $10 million out of the federal government is a little harder than getting $2 million. However, it's possible, and when you talk to them, they were very open to that project, correct? So so you guys, that's why I'm bringing it. I want you guys to really weigh in, and I understand your concern, and so let's have that meeting. Let's absolutely do that. We can put that meeting on the books and we can have it. So we'll know, once we get the money, and that's really the issue, whether or not we can accept it. But I need you guys to look at this list and say which direction you want to go in.
Yeah, there's two things. Every year we do a debt sheet when we're starting the budget, and it gives you the projection of how much the balance is at the end of each fiscal year, and when the payoff is. So you can see when dollars are gonna free up. And then last year, we asked Jen at budget time to give us that sheet of, if it happened, what our matches were gonna be, so we could be prepared for budget situations. So there's two things that are already
Coming off.
work for the process that you're looking for.
Okay.
There are a couple of things that are coming off of our
Yes.
debt.
But we don't know
What she
where our
said.
debt ceiling is, correct?
Well, we know we have to stay within our debt policy, and that's 20% of the general fund, because it's paid out of taxes. Yeah, basically, yeah.
And I wanted to apologize, I know this is, ideally, you would have more time to consider this as well. I believe this is the first council meeting that has happened since the senators held their workshop, and they haven't, to my knowledge, announced the date it's actually gonna open, but once it does, it's a short
window.
turnaround.
The window is very short. So I definitely understand. So I want to give all council an opportunity to weigh in at this particular point. So we'll put that on the books. Councilwoman Johnson, what are your thoughts?
For me, wastewater treatment plant.
Would be where you would want to go. Speak up a little bit. They can't
For
hear you.
me, wastewater treatment plant, but you just said something a few minutes ago about South Somerset, that Somerset Avenue. There are other things going on that would include that. And Norris Harbor Drive are there any marina projects that would include that, or it won't?
That's a good point,
I
but
think it is.
I don't know. They're not going to touch that part.
They're
They're
not.
only inside the marina. Is that
Okay,
it?
cause see, I thought at one time that was included in there. Not. It seems like I
think
thought I heard it one time.
A
it
drain,
was,
but
if
not-
we do the South Somerset 36 million, whatever Marina do, there was kind of our match. I think
Okay,
that's
then,
where
I see, yeah, maybe that's what I saw.
she's getting whatever Marina does, if we got the 36 million, that was part of the
You're right,
match.
that's why I said I thought
But
that.
not
Okay.
Yes,
the
correct.
work we had to do, but
Yeah,
that would count towards the city.
The marina.
yeah, I remember that, cause they were supposed to get so much money, I don't know what happened.
They did get some, and they are moving forward, so that's a match that we'll be able to use if we are still working towards the flood mitigation project, because they are moving forwd. They did
And
get
that's
money
my
in the governor's
rationale for
budget.
saying wastewater treatment plant.
Okay,
Cause I thought the other two might be,
places that we can
yeah.
work on. Okay, thank you. Councilman Patel.
I think in a situation we are in, it's, at this minute, it's wastewater treatment, but then later on, the things we have on our agenda, it can change, right, depending on that, so it's like hard to. Right
Yeah,
now,
it
yes,
is. It's
right now,
difficult.
priority
It's difficult.
is wastewater, but after, when the meeting ends today,
I
it
got
can
you.
change,
Okay,
because what's on agenda.
I got you. Yeah, and you're absolutely right from that standpoint. Okay, all right, so I know where he's going. The general public does not. We have not gone through the entire agenda, but the wastewater treatment plant, there will be a lot more discussion about the direction that we're gonna take with that. And so that's where you're going, Councilman Patel, and that makes sense. That does make a lot of sense. So it is difficult to have you guys do that at this moment. So I do want to hear what you're thinking. And then we can have another discussion. We won't, we'll hold this until, I guess, the end of the conversation, the end of the end of the meeting, if we can do that, because that does make sense. I understand where you're going. Okay, Councilman Langford, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what do you have?
Well, I'm thinking that we had so many issues with our wastewater treatment system that we do need to find money to, get that fixed. So that's where I'm leaning at right now. But I did understand what Councilman Patel was saying and Councilman Goldberg on both ends, about our debt limit and about the other thing that's going on with the wastewater treatment thing. But right now, my vote's for that we apply for the wastewater treatment grant.
Okay, all right, thank you. And Vice Council Banks, are you there?
Yeah, man, how you doing?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if I'm correct, Jen, did you quote, it was, total of these three projects was 10 million?
The South Somerset, Raising South Somerset is 10 million, because it includes the drainage and the wastewater lines underneath. Norris Harbor Drive is 4.7 million, and that includes 10th Street, I should have said that earlier. And the wastewater treatment plant is 2 million.
Okay, did you have a projection for, in each one of those categories for the match? If there was a match?
Unfortunately, I don't. So, just to give you an example, when we applied for the city dock earmark, we applied for FEMA funding, which would have had a match. And then the legislation put it into Department of Transportation funding, which did not have a match, which was fabulous. But because we don't know, we may apply for a particular funding source, but it may be directed elsewhere depending on where there's money available in the federal budget. So it's very challenging to predict what the match may be. I can certainly come back and tell you, like, here's the most likely, but I've guessed wrong before.
Okay, so as I weigh in, and I appreciate that, you giving me that information again. As I weigh in, we all know that the issue that we have on the table for a plan, the other discussion that's probably coming later into the meeting. So, we do know that that is priority. All of them are priorities, but that is top priority, I believe, the sewer plant. But at the same time, we've got to address these issues, especially if Norris Harbor or Somerset has the flooding issues that is at South Somerset, we do know. So we've got to address that, and I think we're trying to take the mitigation piece apart and do it in segments. So, yeah, but I think we got to see what we're going to talk about later on before any decisions can be made.
Thank you, Vice Counsel, and I think that's correct. And so let me apologize that, yes, this probably should have come after our other discussion. So having said that, think about what your second choice is. Should you guys decide that after that, just think about what you would do if it were not the wastewater treatment plant.
I just had one question.
Sure,
Are
absolutely.
those actual numbers or somewhat estimates we got from somebody, or is it just?
Okay, so obviously they're rounded numbers. I could give the.
I mean, not, I don't want
Oh,
exact,
you
but
mean where did they
is
come
that
from?
like we get, did we get quote from contractors or
Sure,
whatever?
sure.
Cause I do know the Norris Harbor Drive, that been at 4.7 million for about 4 years, roughly around.
Oh,
So I don't know if it has
I
changed or
understand. You were asking, yes, what you're saying
how
makes
did you
sense.
come up
So
with those
the
numbers?
wastewater treatment plant numbers came from
The
Moonshot.
moonshot, that was recent.
The South Somerset and Norris Harbor came from CDM Smith work that was just on, so they were the subcontractors under FEMA's direct technical
So
assistance.
about a year or so.
No,
Or
they did,
recently?
they did that recently, and they included,
any
Inflation.
inflation or
Included
certain
inflation.
percentage? No.
So that Norris Harbor number is not the number from the estimate that we got many years ago. That's a much more current number. That's a good question.
I mean, like on all three of.
All
so
three
it's
of
all
those are
three
very current,
very current.
and done by engineers, not by me.
No, I mean, like, I didn't know if it was, recent quotes where we
They're all
got the
recent.
numbers from,
Yeah.
or like, you know, by the time we choose one and we go there, like, oh, it number changed now, you know, it's possible still, but,
It's still possible, but the numbers for the roads do have inflation included in the cost.
thank you.
If you guys, and that's a good question, if you guys recall, we had commissioned CDM Smith to help us break the project apart. And so those are pieces that came out of that, because if you remember, the whole project was 36 million. So $10 million to raise just South Somerset is because once you pull it apart, then you have the other pieces that you have to do that are now standalone. So that's kind of how that number came to be, but that's where they came from. Good question. Okay, so thank you, Jen, we will revisit. Whew, long agenda. Okay, at this point, we've got the Business Incubator revised contract. Ms. Jackie Collins is actually on Zoom for us today
Yes, I'm on Zoom, but I'm sorry, I'm not on camera. I am
at a meeting.
following behind Mayor Hill. I'm headed towards Annapolis for a meeting tomorrow.
She's going to the Rural Maryland Council meeting for us, yes.
Yes. So, but this is giving an update on the roof replacement contract from Dynamic General. And so last meeting we discussed, you know, where we were and Dynamic General had requested if they could resubmit their bid because it's been a little over a year since they were approved. The original bid came in at 208 and it was approved in the January 8th, 2025 council meeting. So they have come back and they said because of material cost increases over this last year, they're coming in at 253, 951, and they're saying that it's strictly for the increase in material costs and the delayed start over this last year. And so they are asking if this is still, we just need to understand the bid is still approved or our proposal is still approved to go forward. The National Park Service is the funding agency. The total grant is $500,000, of which $375 is for construction. So this 253, 951 is well within the construction amount. So we'll come this afternoon or this evening to see if council will continue to agree to grant this contract to Dynamic General.
Okay, so, yeah, thank you so much, Jackie. Basically, if you guys recall, we have been putting them off for quite some time. They kept wanting to get started to replace the roof on the Business Incubator, which is part of this grant. But unfortunately, we were waiting to get the money from the government. We were waiting to get approval from them that we could move forward. And so even before Jackie got here, we were working with the Center for Watershed Protection, and we were trying to figure out what the government needed from us before we could access this. This was another earmark that we had received. And we were trying to go through the process of accessing it. And in the meantime, when did we allot this award, Jackie? Did you find out for me?
January 8th.
January.
January 8th, yeah.
Okay, so this has been
Like over a year.
a year, and so they held their costs, you know, for as long as they could. And so now they're saying that, you know, material costs have increased, but not as bad as, you know, as they could have, in all honesty. And it's well within the budget that we had allotted. So I would need council to approve that we would give them the go-ahead to proceed based on what their modified bid is. FYI, the contractual part you see there is engineering and design of the Business Incubator. That's what that part is. So, council questions?
Jackie, do you have the contract?
The contract currently is in Mary's door, hoping that you approve tonight and she can sign tomorrow.
They did say it was only good for through the 13th. Yeah, so,
Friday.
yeah, yeah, we only got a couple days to make that decision, then the rates will change again.
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, so, I need you guys to, questions? Questions?
I'd like to see the contract, so.
The contract is the same one that you guys looked at for us. It was both,
Yeah, it should be.
it's the same exact contract, Vice Counsel, that you and, Councilman Goldsboro looked at, initially, and we selected them for the award. So the contract hasn't changed. They're just the price, because they have been waiting for us for a year to give them the go-ahead to do this project.
I understand that, and I consider that to, we should honor whatever we can honor. But whatever's legal in this process, I think is how we have to see this, because I don't know if we can just give, they're rebidding the contract. They're rebidding, more or less to say is what they're doing. And I don't know if that's legal or not, so I don't know, that's a question maybe for Andrew or.
Do you consider that rebidding the contract because the price has changed?
No, that's not rebidding.
Help us, Andrew. Is it, I mean, if it is, we need to know, but, I mean, I thought that we were able to,
They've already given you a new price.
We already voted to approve their price
It's just the
too,
price
so at this
change.
point, it's just a change. I
Price
mean,
change.
yeah,
not
it's just,
rebidding.
yeah.
And it's not their fault, I mean, it's not because they weren't ready. That's
Right.
on us.
Right.
And we know the roof has significant damage on it where there's leaks in the backside. They probably are accounting for more water damage than was initially anticipated over a year ago, so.
I'm sure it's there.
I'm comfortable moving forward with it. I'll make a motion at this point to approve the change of $253,951 for the
And I
revised
second.
proposal.
And I second.
Any more discussion? I got, okay,
That's around 23% increase in 1 year. That's why I asked that question earlier, where, with the other quotes where we were. Because that's kind of, if you do the math, that's 23% increase in 1
And the-
year.
right. So your question was,
So-
where were the other quotes at that particular, a year ago as well? Is that?
No, not a question,
Okay.
just a comment. Like when in a previous thing, when I say, do we have the current numbers or how current are they?
Right.
Because
I got
in
you.
1
The
year,
price
you see,
increase.
in 1 year, it's a 23%
It's a
increase.
significant increase.
So, in like, but that's why I had asked.
It makes
if
sense.
there is a.
Yep.
But, no, that's it. No
Yep.
comments.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Langford, did you have any questions?
No, I don't have any comments, but, you know, if we go do the 23 now next week, it's gonna be 28, so I say we should go over it.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, the other contract that we had the chance to bid on, the total estimate was $288,000.
Thank you. You have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
There was
had it
two
right
Okay,
here.
good. Okay, so we still not there?
Nope, nowhere near.
Still, okay. All right, good. All right, Vice Counsel, Banks?
Yeah, I'm good, man, and the consensus is there, and Robert, I support.
Okay, fantastic. I did get a motion and I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Vice Counsel, I didn't hear you. I gotta record your vote.
Yes, and aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, oh, yeah, man, this is a night for it. The wastewater treatment plant emergency repair. So we've had some conversations and we have some major issues at our wastewater treatment plant. There's absolutely no question about that across the board. And we are, in order for us to get into compliance, we've got to make some major repairs. And one of those repairs is called, unfortunately Jason couldn't be here, DJ is here, so DJ can jump in. Jason has gone to get us a quote for a new sand filter.
Yes, to replace the,
Why don't you come up, DJ, because you're gonna, yeah, and you can give your things like
so
this.
Jason is, working on getting a bid to replace the sand the media and the D-night filters, and cleaning the system out. It's gotten plugged up over the years. So he's working with, I wanna say it's Ace.
It's Ace.
To get a quote, an actual quote. He ballpark figured it about $180,000.
It's 147.
147,
It's
okay.
147.
Okay. So, and that's to put remove this existing sand, put new sand in. It's not beach sand or sand like that, it's silica sand that bacteria can go to help with the denitrification of the plant, that will help with our numbers that we're not making right now. So that's what we're working on, that's what this is about, is to do that replacement at the plant.
So that's where we have a major issue right now. And that is one of the things that was in the grant that Jen just put in for the SRF. It was in a rural water loan that we did not get. So it's one of the major components that has to be replaced. There are two major components that we need to work on, and both of them are in the same neighborhood. But we believe that this is the one that we can do with the least impact to the plant.
Yes.
That will give us the best benefit. The other one is cleaning out the basins, and that is another $150,000. So those are the major things that were in the $2 million grant that you saw us just discussing a few minutes ago. Those are two of the major things that were included. But because we can't wait for a grant at this point, guys, we can't wait for a grant anymore. Either of those grants could be up to 2 years before we actually see that money. We've got to do something with our plant now. There's absolutely no question about it. We've got to fix the things that need to be fixed. The plant is 20 years old. We've got some major things. Everything seems to be failing at this moment, and so we are at a critical place. And this is one of the things that, in talking to MDE, that we realize, and they realize as well, that this is one of the major components that we've got to do something about. They know we've applied for grants, but they also want to see us to take an initiative to try to get some repairs so that we can get the numbers to where they need to be. So this is not an easy one, but this is something that we need to talk to you about, because we need to find a way to be able to fund this. And so what you see as the next item, which was the borrowing resolution for the line of credit, I think we need to have a different discussion and look for alternate ways to pay for this, as opposed to using our line of credit to pay for it. So I think we need to look at what are alternatives to paying for this, as opposed to using our line of credit, which is right now $100,000. So you guys got it, Andrew sent the message out, you guys got an email, and I hope you looked at it, because it did discuss what this was an issue. You guys saw that email, correct? I want to make sure that nobody's being blindsided here. You guys saw the email that this is a major problem that we're working on. So it's got to be done, and we've got to find alternative ways to fund it. I'll start with you, Councilman Goldsboro. I know. Trust me, I feel the same way. So, yep.
I mean, what do we have room in our budget at this point would be my biggest guess.
We don't have any room in our
That's
budget.
what I figured, so you're
There's
looking
no
at the
room in
next
our
budget season,
We
couple
can't wait that
months.
long. We can't wait that long.
So you got $100,000 you can borrow from, and you got a $147,000 project.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Or an alternative way to fund it. An alternative way to fund it would be, we're working with ACE, or we're working with the bank.
For a different type of loan.
Yeah,
Right.
not a line of
And-
credit.
yeah,
loan.
mhm.
Right.
And Joyce has reached out for us to see what's our best alternative. I can tell you, at this state, with the issues that we're having with our wastewater treatment plant, we cannot wait. And that's the decision that, after having a conversation with MDE and after looking at what what we need to do, we cannot wait. And we just can't wait.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess that's just what we have to do at this point, is reach out to whatever banks we're permitted to request what funding source we can get for it. I mean, it's gonna be a loan no matter what at this point.
Yeah.
No grant's gonna move that fast to fix $147,000.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I think that's our only option.
Yeah, so we'll come back with what we get from both of those, but we wanted you guys to, that's the only options we've come up with. So if you guys know of any other thing, we don't know of any other way. We were hoping that this would get funded through the rural water loan, which would have been a very, very low interest kind of thing. So,
Same
Councilwoman
here,
Johnson,
same here, but
speak a little bit so they can hear
same
you.
here, but I don't know if we'd be at a line to skip the ordinance amending the city, the employee handbook and go right to the wastewater treatment, plant options.
Oh, okay, all right, you're saying we need to talk about it all now.
Yeah.
Let's go around and then we can look at
Can we
doing
do that,
that.
Andrew?
You
After
can
we go
move to
around.
amend the agenda to
Yeah.
move the ordinance to
After we-
before public input,
Yeah,
because
okay.
that will wrap up all your wastewater questions and earmark opportunities all in one shot.
Say it again, Andrew?
If somebody moves to amend the ordinance to right before public input, and just make it the last thing, then you can go right to wastewater treatment plan options and talk about borrowing resolution and everything all at once.
Okay,
Is,
all right.
is that the way you want to do it? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It'll let us talk about it next.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Councilman Patel.
Even with the other options, I think that's still a time gap. And if I'm not correct, so we are, what, about 50,000 shortfall?
Even.
Even,
I mean-
after 100,000
That's right.
loan, we
That's
are
right.
50 short. Now, if this, I don't remember what the timeline was before we get fined in 50,000 or whatever amount MD
Exactly.
choose.
It's coming.
So is there a, I don't see option.
Other than
Other than even.
finding the
I-
funding for it.
Yep, and even waiting for to move the agenda, there's no option.
Yeah,
Right.
right,
By
yeah.
the time you
That's
send the
not gonna change that,
RFP and
yeah.
all that, it's not gonna change nothing.
No.
I agree with
So I
what you're
think
saying,
we, in my opinion, we have to find the 50 somewhere.
And actually, we're looking at finding it all as opposed to using our line of credit. We don't want to use that up. So if there's a way that we can fund it other than that, then it might make sense for us to
So
do.
it's, and because we can't wait for the,
No, any of the
nothing
other
else. It
options.
has to be done
Right.
and as soon as possible, in other words, probably.
I get it, that's what I guess that's what I should have said, but I still said that I thought we should discuss.
Well, I
that.
think it makes sense, just
Yes.
because we're talking about the wastewater treatment plant, let's get it all out there, and then we'll move to the other things that we have on here. So
Yeah.
Chief, you're still there, right?
Yes,
Hang in with us. Okay, yeah,
12
yeah.
o'clock tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night. No, I knew it was gonna be a long night. Yeah, it's gonna be a
I
long
get what you're
night.
saying, but I was trying to.
No, and you're right, so, yep,
You
yep.
don't have choice.
Yeah, we don't,
Yeah,
we
we
don't,
don't.
we don't, but,
And the other point of not using the line of credit was a discussion that we had yesterday and today, is that we know there are so many critical things that if something comes up tonight,
We done.
yeah, we don't want,
then you need to have
yes,
room to move.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, Councilman Langford, you there?
Yes, I'm here, man. Yeah, I mean, if it's gotta be done, so if we don't have any other funding available, we're gonna have to do whatever we have to do to get this money. So, if we, I know, how much of a loan are we looking at?
Basically, the quote that we got today, just got, was $147,000.
And that's over, what, a 10-year period?
No, we would not stretch it out that long. No, we wouldn't. We're gonna look and see where we can get the best, what would be the best alternative, and that we would bring to you guys.
And if we were to get some funding, in between there that we could put on that loan, correct?
Well, if it were, if you're talking about, let's say we did get the SRF grant after we approve this, if you're asking if we could then go back and apply it towards this, the answer is no. They won't, grants don't work that way, unfortunately. They won't allow us to do that. If we've already spent money, then we can apply a grant towards that.
Okay.
But that's a good question, because it was asked, as a matter of fact, when we were talking to, Moonshot.
Okay, well, we have to do what we have to do because we have to get it fixed, so,
Right.
I'm in favor for whatever we need to do.
And then, Vice Counsel, your comments?
Really no comment, Mayor. I support the consensus. It's a dire hardship situation we gotta deal with, we gotta borrow the money. That's what we need to do to move forward, and time is of essence here, and so grants are not gonna bail us out this time. So we gotta do what we gotta do.
Right, we just can't wait for them, absolutely, you're absolutely right. Okay, thank you. So, guys, at this particular stage, I think it's best to talk about the issues that we have with our wastewater treatment plant. And it has been significant issues, and they have been building up over time. There's absolutely no question about that. So, as opposed to holding that until after we do the employee handbook, we want to go ahead and get a motion that we can talk about all of our wastewater treatment plant issues. So we would want to move to the wastewater treatment plant options, and then we would also want to have, might as well move you up, DJ, to tell us what's going on even today. I think all of those things are significant, and these are things that we've been looking at for some time, but we needed to bring it to the public. We need you guys to understand what's happening. I'm sorry?
Make the motion.
We'll make the motion to agenda issue, make a motion to amend the agenda to move up both of the wastewater treatment
and
plant,
public works.
Okay.
public utilities.
So I'd like to make a motion to move the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to move the agenda to include the wastewater treatment plant options and the public works update.
Public utilities.
Public.
Utilities.
Public utilities update.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. I got both of you guys that time. Thank you, motion carried. Okay, guys, we're gonna get all this done, and so that everybody knows where we are. This has been something that has been brewing for some time. Internally, we have had conversations, closed meetings, trying to figure out what is the best option to handle our wastewater treatment plant. And so at this stage, we have come up with two options. We are going to do a request for proposal for two things. One of those things is that we are looking at a O&M contractor to come in to operate the plant, to give us some additional capacity and support that we need internally. So we are in the process of working on a request for proposal for the operations of the plant. You want to help me out here, Andrew? I see you. No? Okay, all right, good. And then the second option is an option for a private owner. So we are actually looking at the possibility that we would sell the plant to a private owner. That has been done in some other places. One of the things that we can do is have them come in and do a public session that you guys would get an opportunity to ask questions about. So, what we are planning to do is two things. We are going to do two requests for proposals. One would be for operations and maintenance, and the other one would be for the sale. And then we would see what makes sense for the city to move forward. So both of those things are in the process right now. And so one of the things that we will schedule is to have the, at least the one that we have spoken with, come in and talk about what it would mean if we were to sell the wastewater treatment plant to a private owner. Council, comments? Just kind of jump in here. Andrew, did I miss anything?
Just an RFP is not binding to take any action, it's just get proposals. If they don't make financial sense, there's not a decision to move forward with a contract. There's no obligation just by putting the RFP out there.
We are, guys, we have been fighting this battle for some time. We know that our wastewater treatment plant needs a major upgrade, and there's no question about that. There are so many things that have failed recently, and we're looking at what can we do. And of course, you guys know we're looking for all kinds of funding places to upgrade what's at the wastewater treatment plant. But this is a major issue for us, and we must get it resolved. We cannot continue in the way we're going. So that's why we're looking at every option that we can to make sure that we can get back into a good place. It's definitely a challenge for us. Any other comments, council?
No, just that we've had the struggle because we were concerned about, the price and the changes in what we charge versus what could be charged for water and sewer, because we kind of like been behind the ball, like what we've been charging for water and sewer. So that's been part of our discussions also.
Yes, and what Councilwoman Johnson is saying is that the wastewater treatment plant does not pay for itself, has not paid for itself, and we can't increase the rates to the point that it does. And that's been a major problem for us in terms of keeping up with all the maintenance that needs to happen at the wastewater treatment plant. It's a big deal for us. Councilman Patel, okay, Councilman Langford, anything you need to add?
I don't need to add anything there.
Vice Counsel Banks?
Nothing to add, Mayor.
Okay, wanted the public to be aware, we will be having public meetings, we will open those up, we will, bring in, folks that give us some idea of what things might look like, depending on what direction we take. And it doesn't get better. DJ, wanna tell us where we are right now with Cove Street?
So Cove Street lift station plugged up, and it backed the system up. Luckily, we had no overflows, because it was called in time, and CES was able to get here and help pump and haul. Hills removed they removed a huge, ball of non-flushable items out of the pump. As soon as we put the pump back in, it plugged up immediately again. It was pulled, you pulled out another huge ball of unflushables again, and now the line is plugged. So tomorrow morning, CES will be back to clean out the lift station of the rags. From what we could tell, after it was sucked down, so Hills could do the work inside, it's probably about 3 foot worth of non-flushable items in the bottom of the lift station. That is your so-called flushable wipes, feminine hygiene products, baby wipes, stuff of that nature is all being flushed, and that is what's caused the catastrophic breakdown at the lift station. And I'm not exaggerating, it was a rag ball about this big that was pulled out twice out of the pump.
And so the other piece of this is, that we are getting a new lift station.
The new lift station will have what's called a comminutor. It's a grinder that will grind up the non-flushable items.
Better.
It'll lessen the amount of times that the pumps will get plugged up. It's not a guarantee that they won't get plugged up, but with the grinder in front of it, it should lessen the amount of times that it gets plugged up, because because the flushable wipes, they don't break down, they wind together and they become a fibrous material that is hard to break, hard to pull apart, and it just binds up into the impeller, and it just, and then everything mats to it, and it just gets worse and worse, and.
So we are working on a spare. Still, did the Godwin get fixed?
Yeah, the Godwin is now not frozen because of thankfully the warm weather that we had today. CS brought us a pump that we have as the backup, to the backup because we were froze up, so we're running on that. They're pumping and hauling right now to get us caught up where we back the system up to, pull the pump. So they're gonna pump and haul until night, later tonight, and then we're gonna go back on the pump just to get it caught up, because the pump is, with it backed up, it's to get ahead, so we're ahead, and we're back to normal flow in the system before we go back on the pump.
Okay.
So, but again, that's all due to non-flushable items.
And so that's another, LaFabian, that's another letter to the public, basically informing them what's not flushable, we need to do that. The other thing we gotta do is we gotta get that Cove Street lift station done. and that's been on the books for some time. We're still not
Yeah.
there. I know
No.
that, go ahead.
The last thing I heard, they were still waiting on the structure to come in, the actual lift station structure itself before they start doing anything. I know with Cove Street, the first thing they're going to do is they're gonna put, because they have to demo the existing place, they're gonna put a manhole in, they're gonna put a pump in the manhole and a backup, and they're gonna directly tie into the force main. So it basically runs like the lift station does now, but it'll just be confined into a manhole. And then they'll demo the
other
existing lift station, and then they'll start
It'll be
building the new one.
All right, guys, so we are waiting on that, and that will help us with issues like Cove
Yes.
Street being down. So when do we expect it to be back up?
They'll have it cleaned tomorrow,
Okay.
so it'll be up tomorrow, and we'll be good to go.
Keep us posted, but we are running down on what CES brought to us,
Yes.
their spare.
Yes,
But our Godwin as the backup is now unfrozen.
Yes,
It
it's
got
unfrozen.
frozen during the weather.
Yes.
That was our backup, and that wasn't working either, so. Okay, questions, council?
I know when this happened twice or three times before, you were trying to kind of map it where it's all coming from consistently. I don't know if you had any luck.
well,
I know it's a challenge.
it
big
is a challenge,
but
because
Any,
we have, so Cove Street catches 2 lift stations from the county.
Okay.
It catches Gandy Lane and it catches Freedom Town, and all of that part of the county comes to it. So there's an inherent problem of trying to figure out where some of the stuff's coming from. Because I don't have the means to put in a rag catcher,
it's,
because we would
yeah,
stay,
it's tough.
we would literally sit there all day long pulling the rag catcher out, because they do make a thing that goes in there to catch rags, but it's more for lift stations, so we would cause a backup if we put one in the manhole to try to
stop it.
triangulate where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's an issue. It is. And the same thing you said, we would love to know where that's actually happening.
Yes.
That really would be something that would be huge.
Ongoing for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
And
it's been a
then
problem.
and to a public, and it's not fair to some other people. It breaks, we can't afford it as of now. Well, we gotta look for 150,000 again, and here comes budget time. We said, hey, we gotta increase your water and sewer by $5 again. Guess what? It's our fault, because somebody flush all this stuff all the time now for over a year now.
Yes.
But it's just not fair to everybody else, and it's just, sometimes it's just a common sense. That's it.
Absolutely. Okay. Any questions? Councilman Langford or Councilman, Vice Council Banks?
Yeah, no questions for me.
Are you there, Vice Council?
Yeah, DJ, I spoke with you earlier today. Did they complete the process that you had explained to me? They pumped that thing down?
Yes,
Block it off so you can see.
Yes, we were able to get it pumped down and block off the line going into the lift station. That's how we were able to see the amount of rags that's actually in the lift station. I say rags, but non-flushable items.
Okay, so I didn't hear that part, that was what's going on over there, okay.
Not to be gross, but do you photograph that? I mean, we need to get this publicity out sometime.
I can, by all
I mean, I
means.
don't know how you
I
make
can
it
make pictures of it,
Joyce.
I know.
You can get it to Richard, and he can,
I know.
newspaper with a big headline, stop
No.
And
flushing
there's one
this.
other thing, is
I know,
the
it's just-
cleaning solutions
It's,
that have been all made portable, the cleaning cloth.
yes,
And, for mop heads,
yes,
all of
We've
that.
been seeing that too.
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, we need to make a list of the things that we're saying, please do not flush. I mean, we keep trying to do that, but we gotta get that word out. There's a lot of things that say flushable, but they really are not,
No.
they don't dissolve or disintegrate or whatever the case may be, and they're killing us. So, we'll get that word out again. Fabian, you'll take care of that for us. Talk to DJ, find out exactly the things that he's seeing and make a list of those things. And let's get that sent out to every household. We just gotta send it out to every single
And
household.
LaFabian, keep in mind and put it on the letter that there is a part of the code that says we have the right to fine you if we know this is coming from your house. I believe it's
Oh,
two hundred
that's
and fifty dollars.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely need to do
Yes, the
that.
residential,
ICC,
one individual
Yes.
residential that we found that code and were able to apply it.
Yes.
you figured out where it came from
Yes.
in that instance.
We jetted the line and rags came out and we informed the resident
Mm-hmm.
that if you had another sewer stop and it was due to rags, that we would fine you.
Okay.
And we went out 2 days later and it was rags
same
again,
thing.
the same thing. So we went ahead and
Fine.
implemented that.
Yeah, and that's what we have to do, and there's no question about that. Yeah, we need help there. Okay, everybody, was that it for you, Vice Counsel?
Yes.
Okay, all right, guys, yeah, it's really hard, it's a major problem, but we have to address it head on. We've got to make some serious decisions about how we're gonna continue to operate the plant, under these conditions. Okay. If there's no more questions relating to the wastewater treatment plant, then we will go back to where our agenda was. We're gonna go to the ordinance amending the City of Crisfield Employee Handbook. Andrew, if you'll come up and help us out with that.
So this is the first reading of the next ordinance, 736. An ordinance of the City of Crisfield amending the City of Crisfield Employee Handbook. Whereas Article 7 of the City of Crisfield Charter entitled Personnel provides the city the ability to establish rules and regulations governing employees, and whereas in 2024, the City of Crisfield enacted Ordinance 730, which adopted an employee handbook, and whereas the city wishes to make the following amendments to clarify unaddressed or ambiguous matters within the handbook, now therefore be it enacted and ordained by the mayor and city council of the City of Crisfield that the City of Crisfield Employee Handbook is hereby amended as follows. 1, in section 6.6C, that the following words be inserted. Department heads receive compensatory time only after the department head has worked at least 1/2 hour beyond the department head's regular workday. Total compensatory time earned includes the first half hour plus any time worked after the first half hour. Awarded comp time must be taken within 30 days of the pay period is awarded or it is forfeited at the time of the separation from employment, and the unused comp time will not be paid out. 2, that section 9.10B, Romanet 2, be amended to delete the wording to include cannabis, and at the end of that sentence, insert cannabis uses.
Is that the next page? Is that the next
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
Well, I think it's split, okay, there
There
it
it
is.
is. Mhm.
This isn't the most up, this isn't the one, the second one that we circulated after. we
It
talked.
isn't.
No. But I'll read
Can you
what
read
we
what it
talked
is
about.
so that they, yeah,
Cannabis
this is the
use-
first reading,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, go
We'll
ahead.
make sure the right one's up, but this is what you asked me to present. Cannabis use is also prohibited at any time during employment by the city unless the employee has a valid prescription and the employee is not in a safety-sensitive position. The safety-sensitive position is defined as first responders and those who operate any city machinery. An employee not in a safety-sensitive position with a valid cannabis prescription may not use during working hours or at any time while performing or otherwise conducting city business. That second one legit had some issues, and they sent around sort of a best practice to have employees who have a prescription card register with the city, so the city knows. And if you don't have a prescription card or identify yourself as a prescription card, then you could be in violation of the employee handbook. So these are just some things that have been seen. So this would be the form. This is on city letterhead, but that legit was circulating where it identifies, you know, I do not have a card. I know if I get a card, I have to tell HR. Also, if I'm in one of these positions, even if I have a card, I still can't do the job.
So this goes to every employee, is that what this
This
says?
will go to every employee,
Okay.
regardless if they're safety sensitive or not, if this amendment's approved to the employee handbook. This is the document that everyone will complete going forward.
Okay, so then
All right.
everybody will be on record as having
Correct.
signed it. Okay. So council, if you have any questions, on this?
Do we do any testings or whatever? once this
Yes,
is
so
approved?
that's part of defining, so that if somebody does come up positive, they have a prescription card, so that's where the city's current position is. And then they're viewed differently than if you don't self-identify, and obviously there's no prescription for, other narcotics. All right?
Councilman Langford, questions?
No questions.
Vice Counsel, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we'll
Andrew?
have,
That's the first reader,
first
correct?
reading,
Mhm.
I guess if we wanna wait until the second meeting, or the first meeting in March, it could, or it could be on the next agenda. This is not a zoning text amendment, so it doesn't need like an advertised public hearing or anything.
Okay.
So it's just sort of.
Doesn't need a
what
certain number of
the agenda-
days.
It has to be done within 60 days, so before the second
Okay.
meeting, or at the latest, the second meeting in March.
Can we do it at the next meeting?
We can't, the agenda sometimes gets full with other things.
Okay.
And you ask me what can move.
Okay, that
It's
could
got-
move it.
It could move, but it can also be on the next agenda if that's a desire,
Okay,
all right?
all right, thank
All
you.
right, thank
If there's
you.
no questions, we'll put it on the next agenda. All right, guys, thank you. And this one will be short and sweet, but as far as the Village Youth Center, there are folks that had questions, and I wanted to answer as many of those questions as I could. If the question is when it will be done, we're still working towards that. The weather did kind of throw things off, but they will soon hopefully be putting up some walls. I have a huge shout out to the governor. We have struggled a lot with the village construction costs going more than 23%. I promise you. It has been a nightmare, but construction costs have been an issue, but the biggest issue for the village has been the fact that we could not get waived the 9-foot requirement, that we had to be 9 feet off of the ground. And then we had to put in more than 200 wood pilings, could not even build on concrete. So the requirements have caused there to be so much money that had to be put in the ground, 200 pilings. I believe we can hold a 50-foot building, honestly. But that was a requirement that we had to meet. But I'm happy to say that we had funding to put up the structure, but still needed the inside done. My big shout out to the governor, because he took the time when he was here for the clam bake to come to the village and to meet the kids. And I think that made a huge impact. He was only supposed to be there for 15 minutes. He stayed almost an hour. And he got an opportunity to see the work that was really being done there. And today I invite anybody to come to the village and see the work that we're doing. And as a result of that, he did put the money we need to get an occupancy certificate. Right now, we believe that in order to get what we need done to get a certificate of occupancy was the $495,000 that he has put in his budget. So we are really grateful to him for that. It looks like we weren't the only ones. Last paper says millions in the governor's budget would come to the county. So he has definitely looked out for Somerset County. There are a number of things in here. I know there's EMS and some other things that Richard had actually highlighted what all of those things were. So I went today to the state of the state. That's why I was a little late getting here for the public meeting today. But I thought that went very, very well. I got an opportunity to hear more about all the initiatives that he has that will be coming. And I think a lot of those will also benefit the Eastern Shore. So I'm excited about that, and my hat's off to him. I want to thank him. Because we spent the city money, I can make this comment because yes, now I can talk about it. I mean, in the past, I could not talk about the village, and I understood that in reality, because that was a grant that I wrote before I became mayor, but it came through the city. And so because of that, we wanted to make sure there were no conflicts, and I want to thank Councilman Langford, who stepped in for me anytime there was an issue associated with the village. Before that city grant was spent, he operated in a city capacity, and I did not have anything to do with that. So I thank you guys. It has been an amazing journey. We've been trying to do this since 2017. And every time they said you don't have enough money. Every single time we tried to bid it out, Richard was there. A number of times we tried to bid it out, and they said we did not have enough money. But I trust the God we serve. We will get to the place that we need to get to for those kids. So, and I haven't forgotten, there's another source I can go look to for the finishing touches. Isn't that right, Mr. Chairs? Absolutely.
For all of it.
Well, I like you. Okay, guys, thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity just to kind of let you guys know where we are with that, and to thank everybody. I mean, the community, the American Legion, different areas, every businesses, they have all contributed to this. This has been a community issue, and that's why we've been able to move forward. So thank you, guys. Okay, Chief, are you still here? I can hear you. Okay, well, you need to have some energy coming up here after all of this. Absolutely, I know he's been sick, he knows.
Yes, I've been gone.
Absolutely, Chief. Tell us what's been going on over there.
So, I want to present to you my 2025
Nice and loud
annual
for me.
report. Get my flash drive.
Just 1 second.
Oh, okay. So, I put a great deal of work into this. I want the public to know that when it comes to my statistics, that they are clean, they are accurate. I had one of my dispatchers work with me to go back 2 years and just look at every single call, every single crime that we had to make sure that they were right. Going forward, that's just how I want to operate. Next slide, please. Crisfield Police Department handled 9,304 calls for service in 2025.
Wow, impressive.
And these calls may be responded to or initiated by a sworn member or handled over the phone. In 2024, we handled 12,506 calls for service. We had more people here at that time, so when you have more officers here, you generate more calls for service. Next slide, please. These are our Part 1 crimes for 2025 as compared to 2024. 2024, we had 0. 2025, we had 2 homicides. Both of those were up to. Both of those, we had arrests made. Attempt murders, no change, 0. Aggravated assaults, 7 in 2024. 2025, we had 3. We're down 4. Assaults, 2024, we had 24. In 2025, we had 31. We're up 7. No rapes in either year. Robbery, 1 in 2024. 1 in 2025, no change, and there was an arrest made in our 2025 one as well. B&Es, 13 in 2024, we had 5 in 2025, I'm proud of that number, we were down 8. Motor vehicle thefts, 4 in 2024, 2025 we had 1, we're down 3. Thefts, 40, in 2024 we had 49, in 2025 we had 46, we're down 3. Sex offenses, none in 2024. In 2025, we have 1. We were up 1. Overdoses, 12 in 2024 and 5 in 2025. We're down 7. And that can be attributed to many things. That seems to be a nationwide trend. It seems to be trending in that way. The availability of Narcan. Seem to have less fentanyl coming in to the country and into our county, which is also great. Next slide, please.
Before you go, Chief, just quickly, do you, for the ones like, well, you said the homicides or arrests made, the ones like aggravated assault, all of those were actually arrests, correct?
No, that's our crimes.
Okay.
Yes.
But not necessarily?
No. I just
Robbery.
wanted to highlight the homicide, the 2 homicides we had last year, we had arrests in both of them.
Okay.
Yes, I did not.
But this doesn't say that we necessarily had an arrest for the robbery that occurred?
Yes, no, it does not say that, but I know for a fact in 2025, we had an arrest for our robbery that we had.
Okay, all right, okay.
Arrest, plural. So, next slide, please. All right, arrest data in 2025, total criminal arrests made were 59 adult arrests. We had 10 juvenile arrests, and before I go forward, I want to clarify to the public, when you see juvenile arrest up there, that does not necessarily mean a juvenile was handcuffed and brought to the police station and processed. For example, one of those was mine. I had a kid run away, and I found him in Crisfield. I put him in my car, and I took him back to his father. He was held, I detained him, and that counts as a juvenile arrest. So I just want to make sure the public knows we didn't handcuff him. 10 juveniles were brought to the station last year. Most of them, I believe 8 of them, they were non-custodial arrests. So, warrants served, we had 75. Criminal summons served, we had 37. Next slide.
What's a non-custodial arrest?
Where we arrest and charge somebody without taking them into custody.
Oh, okay.
Which is
All right.
the
Okay.
norm with juveniles these days.
Okay.
Okay. Traffic enforcement data for the Crisfield Police Department 2025. Traffic stops conducted, 741 total traffic stops, 1,045 total violations recorded, 256 citations issued, 779 warnings issued, 10 equipment repair orders issued, 10 parking tickets issued. Our jailable traffic offenses, these are traffic offenses where if you get this ticket, you can go to jail. 35 for driving without a license, 7 for driving under the influence, 39 for driving on a suspended license, 5 for driving an uninsured motor vehicle, and 2 for hit and run.
So the total stops were 741, but more warnings because they were for different things, is that?
Are you talking the total number of violations is more than the total stops? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, and warnings are more
Yeah,
than
some people
total
get more
stops.
than one ticket.
One ticket
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah, like a DUI, you'll get 4 or 5 tickets out of that one.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Next slide, please.
Hadn't happened, thank God.
Community Policing Enforcement 2025. Public Service Assignments. This is something that I initiated when I came here in January 2025. We had 270 of them, and I'm very proud of that. This is where I require our officers to exit their vehicles and interact with a community member for 15 minutes to 20 minutes every day. Every shift you work, go into a store, go into the housing authority, go into a neighborhood, do anything you can just to interact with a member of the public for 15 minutes. And I make sure they call out on the radio and document each time that they do that. Patrol checks, 4,276. Officers patrol a specific problem area, loitering, traffic complaints, unoccupied residents. We'll get citizens that call, hey, can you check on this house? Can you check on this area? We'll do a patrol check for them. The library's one where we try to do every night. When the ladies leave there.
Yeah.
So, foot patrols, 1,701, where we have officers canvass a specific problem area on foot. That's self-explanatory. All right, next slide, please. Police Department updates for 2025. I could have filled 3 pages for this, but I concentrated on my most important things. So all of our officers became CN2 certified. This grants them the ability to run vehicles through their vehicle checks through NCIC from their patrol vehicles. We had a new recruit graduate the academy in December. Patrolman Nielsen has passed FTO training and is in service, and you all will have the opportunity to meet him very soon. If you haven't met him already. Patrolman Nielsen? We're having remember we were gonna have
Zach.
Zach, yes.
Yeah, I wanna make sure, okay.
So, new computers were purchased, desktop computers purchased for the station using asset forfeiture funds. And all the computers have Windows 11 operating system and can receive the latest security updates. We had donations received from the American Legion. Thank you, sir. Enabling us to acquire ballistic shields and an in-house AED, which we almost used yesterday. Fortunately, we didn't have to, so it's good to have those items. All officers were outfitted with trauma packs donated by Mission 1042. These are the same trauma packs that soldiers carry in the combat that have the latest blood clotting agents and all kinds of state-of-the-art equipment to help save life. We have 2 mobile AIDs in the field. All officers have been trained on the device, and that was obtained through Rescue 1. I try to have 1 out there in the field every night, so a lot of the times the officers will beat the paramedic to the call and perform CPR and they can have an AED. They can use the AED if needed. We had a Humvee acquired from the U.S. Army through GSA, and a 2023 Ford Explorer was purchased using USDA grant. Next slide, please. All Crisfield officers have CAPWIN ability, allowing them to communicate through the state and with one another from their laptops. Crisfield officers can also perform NCIC checks through CAPWIN.
That's software that we
Yes,
purchased, right?
software on the laptop, and they can completely do their job with Cruiser now, and because I don't want them in the station. Somerset County Health Department agreed to provide us with funding for weapons clearing systems. The system was purchased, and we have it installed on their station. We recover a gun, and we'll get at least once a month, well, not that frequent, a citizen will say, hey, I found a gun, or I don't want this gun anymore in my house, somebody passed or this. We'll take it, we'll put it into the system and clear it so we don't have an AD, an accidental discharge. If that does occur, it goes into the system and it's safe.
And then what do we do with the gun?
We store it,
Oh,
and we'll send it up the road.
Okay.
All right. And grants received in 2025, the Housing Authority, we get $40,000 yearly, $10,000 per quarter. The Somerset County Health Department, $1,500 for underage tobacco. We get another $650 for underage tobacco, underage alcohol compliance checks. Bayshore Community Drug-Free Coalition, $5,000. And we get from Bayshore Community DARE program, $10,000. And we got a legit training grant, which I'm proud of. Well, I'm going to try to get that every year for $5,000 to pay for the expenses of training a new recruit in the academy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Next slide. We had a new K-9 addition. There she is. She's beautiful. This is Zara. She was obtained at no cost through the Throwaway Dogs Project in New Jersey. Zara is dual purpose. I'm sorry, forgive me. She can detect illegal narcotics and can track as well. Through donations and shirt sales, we also purchased her a ballistic vest and outfitted our K-9 vehicle with a heat alarm and activation system. This system rolls the windows down if the interior temperature becomes too hot. Zara has proven to be successful in the field and has helped seize illegal drugs already in Somerset County. So she's on a roll. And if we have a missing person, missing child, she can track that child or person.
Who's the handler?
Corporal Gillespie.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next slide, please. Community policing activities. We had the bike rodeo at the marina. We're going to do that again. Huge success. DARE program at Crisfield High School through Sergeant Hoover. Our Pride and Joy, the Are You OK program. Tracy heads that up, and we're very proud of that. And that's on our Facebook page, and it's tagged at the top. And I believe the city of Crisfield Facebook page has it tagged as well as all the information you need. Bike registration, we got that started again. I believe we're up to 30 now. We'd love to have a lot more. Please come register your bikes with us. The Veteran Spotlight, which we're getting ready to kick off again. National Night Out, basketballs in the community, which are going to start in the spring again. Thanksgiving food drive, and Santa at the station. Next slide. Things to focus on and improve for 2026. Recruitment of qualified applicants for the Crisfield Police Department. This is something that's dear to me, that's important to me, and I'm sure it's important to everybody in Crisfield, our councilman, everybody here tonight. More concentration on cold cases, which includes continued cooperation with the state of Maryland's forensic biology section. At my request, our old DNA evidence was submitted last year for updated serological and DNA analysis. I have cases on my desk. I hold on to them. I look at them. I know we have issues we need to deal with in Crisfield at the moment, but we have cases that occurred before I was hired here that I want solved and I'm going to get solved. And I have taken old sexual assault DNA evidence that we've had for years in the Crisfield Police Department evidence room and submitted that to the state DNA lab.
Okay, good.
Yeah, hopefully get a hit. Improved traffic enforcement in problem areas. I recently applied for and was awarded a grant from the state, from SHA to cover overtime costs for high intensity enforcement. We have been out of this program for many years. The grant falls under Maryland's Zero Deaths program, speed, impaired pedestrian occupant restraint. This is a grant, Mayor, that we typically are in every year. We have just been out of it for a couple years.
State Highway?
Yeah, State Highway Administration. So I did all the work and they've already approved us for this year to start later this year so we can actually do some high intensity enforcement in problem areas where the school zones, and other places where people say speeding is an issue. And continued updating and reorganization of our police department building and files. All our arrest files were digitally archived in 2025, and we're still working on that. And that is it.
Fantastic. So it's been a year, huh?
Yeah.
It's been a year.
Just getting started.
Yeah, no, you've done a great job. Absolutely. No question. There are a lot of initiatives that I know that you started that have gone over really well. So definitely hear positive things. So thank you, Chief, for all that you're doing to keep us safe. I sleep pretty good at night. Thank you. Okay, Council?
Question, just, how many are in the Are You OK program at this point?
I believe we have 3. Actually, we have enough. We have 4 right now. We want a lot more.
It's definitely one thing that I can attest to that our police department does phenomenally. My wife's grandmother's in there. They call her every Wednesday. She loves the phone call. The highlight was one time the chief actually called her and she told me that she talked to the best chief in the world. So, I highly recommend it. If you live alone, if you know a shut-in and know a person that does not get out, have them sign up for the Are You OK program. It's a phenomenal program that the city does.
Great point. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, questions, Councilwoman? Councilman Patel?
Thank you.
I don't know, I mentioned this before. The grants received, the 40,000 from
Housing Authority.
Housing Authority. Is there, I mean, I don't know how long it has been there, at 40,
It's been that for
forever. And I'm sure we spend more money or time or officer or whatever. Is there any chance where we can go to federal government, I believe, or them and say, hey, instead of that, can you take on one officer's salary?
I'm always in Kashia's ear.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's, you know, everything else has gone way up and we're still at 40 forever and
I'd love to have
years
more
and years
coverage.
and years.
I'd love to have more money.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that is a,
they're having, their own funding challenges at the moment, but, yeah, it definitely is something we can address and should. Thank you, absolutely. Okay, Councilman Langford?
I don't have any comments except for, Chief, you've done a great job, and I appreciate all the efforts that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Vice Counsel?
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
All right, good job. Thank you very much. Okay, you're still here. Okay, all right, this was, okay, yes, I know what this was. Okay, it took me a minute. So the approval of a laptop and radar unit purchase.
Yeah, I have a short PowerPoint with that, there we go. Request for laptop radar units, yeah. Next slide, please. The Crisfield Police Department requests permission to use funds from our asset forfeiture account to purchase 8 Dell Pro 14 laptops for members of the Crisfield Police Department. The laptops we currently use are 8 to 15 years old. They are not running the required operating system to keep security updates current, leaving our data vulnerable to breaches and viruses. Many of our laptops are in poor condition and some will not hold a charge. Laptops are a necessity in law enforcement today. Most of our enforcement efforts are conducted on mobile data terminals. The total cost for 8 new laptops is $11,400 through Intercom, inclusive of all fees. I would like to use Intercom as we already have an IT contract with them for all our IT needs, and they have extensive familiarity with our proprietary law enforcement software. That's more of a need. The next one is a want. But we would like to purchase 4 stationary radar units from the Pocomoke Police Department. The units are newer than ours, and the purchase would equip our entire fleet with permanently mounted radar units. These units sell for $1,495 each, and I can purchase a lot for $1,000.
I'd like to check.
We currently have $14,691.39 in reserve available. The total cost for both of these would be $4,400. Next slide, please.
So before you do that, Andrew, because they do have proprietary software, that's the reason we're thinking we can sole source this.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
It's proprietary software that they have, so that makes it okay. Okay, all right.
On the left is what we currently use, our laptop, and on the right is what we would like to purchase. Just want to give you an idea how old the laptops are that we're using.
Oh, they got the ThinkPad?
I can't think that. I think some of them are Windows 8 or something.
Yeah, they gave me one, I gave it back.
Next slide, please. There's a picture of the radar units that Pocomoke has. I don't know what happened to the photo there. That stretch, that's probably mine.
The right side is Pocomoke, I assume?
Yeah.
And
No, that's the radar units that they're offering us.
Oh, that's
Right
everything.
there. So
Okay.
there's a display that goes on the dash, and there's a front and rear antenna. And it is a good deal. Those are about $1,500 each, and we can get the lot for $1,000.
Give me a letter.
And you think they have a life to them?
Say that again.
Give me a letter.
I wish, but we can't. I love you though. Yeah,
Go half with me?
the life of them, I mean, they're not old or, I mean.
No, they're a lot more than ours. If we were to purchase these, I don't know what the life expectancy is on a radar unit, but it was.
You think they'll work for a while, it's kind of
Yes,
the issue.
we will
I
have
mean,
these in the
it's
next 10
fine,
years in
but-
our cars.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Next slide. Next slide. That's the quote from Intercom right there. And just to clarify, Mayor, that it includes everything. The installation of the software, there's no additional fees after this. Okay?
That's a question. Is that it?
I think that's it. Is there anything else? Okay.
Council?
Chief, do you mind explaining what the asset forfeiture account is?
That is money from arrest, from drug offenses, money that we've seized, and that goes back to the chief Tabor days, that has just been sitting there.
And thank you, yep, I had forgotten about that, yes, absolutely, just so used to hearing it, absolutely.
Can you explain how the state's attorney released those funds?
Yes, I went back, when we first started using the funds, I went back and looked at each case involved with the asset forfeiture. I spoke with Andrew, and I spoke with Wes, our state's attorney, and cleared each case individually through him. Hey, can I use this money? Can I use this money, or is this case adjudicated? Yes. So we're good there.
So with that clarity, just wanna, I know we're going through a lot with the water sewer treatment plant, we're talking about trying to spend a lot of money tonight, but this fund is there pretty much for equipment for the police department and helping out the police department as much as possible, so, I see no reason to not fund this through the assets forfeiture fund.
Yeah, it was good to make that clarification, so
what it
people
was,
don't
yeah.
think that we are spending money here when we need money there. So thank you for making that clarification. This is forfeiture money that the police can use for equipment and things that is coming from drug arrest or whatever, cases that were adjudicated. And that money has just been sitting there for some years, correct? Okay, all right, fantastic.
And if they get more, they have to do the clearance for each one, because it has to stay there. In fact, it was in the restricted funds in our audit tonight. So they will need the state's attorney letter that we have in the file for this year,
To verify that it was
that
cleared.
it's released.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
I'm surprised, I knew what it was, but I didn't realize you still had.
Good? Councilman?
Thank you, good job.
Thank you.
Councilman Langford or Vice Council Banks, you guys have anything?
Nope, I don't have anything. That's what the funds are for, that's usual.
Yeah.
Okay. Vice Council?
No comment.
Okay, no comment? Okay.
For,
Yes,
we're looking for-
Need a motion.
I didn't know he was finished. Are you finished?
Yeah, was you need a motion, if you need approval?
Yes, we need approval to spend the money.
Make a motion.
Second?
Make a motion. I give, Steve, the approval to purchase these items that he's gonna present tonight.
Second.
I second it.
We got a second, two of them. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I hear you, Vice Council?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you guys very much. Want to be able to record every motion, so sometimes it's difficult for me to hear. I just want to make sure I got it right. Okay, and then a couple of things, the city inspector is going to share with us this evening, and I appreciate that. Mr. Hirschoff?
Yes, good evening again. I wanted to, we're gonna go out with a press release, a media release, but I wanna bring it in front of the council first and the city's, Crisfield. It has to do with the iWorks program, that we're currently implementing, within the city, within, my department and a couple other departments. The city of Crisfield is pleased to announce the implementation of iWork Municipal Management Platform, a comprehensive cloud-based system designed to modernize and integrate the wide range of city operations, including rental licensing, code enforcement, permitting, citizen engagement, infrastructure management, and public works activities. The adoption of iWork represents a major investment in transparency, efficiency, and service delivery for residents, property owners, contractors, and businesses throughout the city of Crisfield. We have expanded capabilities across city departments. Through the iWork platform, the city will transition from mostly paper-based and fragmented processes to a unified digital platform supporting the following functional areas: rental licensing and rental complaint management, which came online January 2026, code enforcement, case tracking, and compliance monitoring, which came online also in January 2026. We finished up the building zoning and planning permitting, which will officially come online beginning of February 26th. We also had the citizen engagement and service request portal for February 2026. Work order and work management coordination, March of 2026. Facility and asset management for March 2026. Pavement management and right-of-way tracking, March of 2026. Water and sewer system management, which is mostly of the components of the areas. For April 2026, inspection, scheduling, and documentation, April 2026, centralized record keeping and reporting, April 2026. What this means for residents and property owners is residents and stakeholders will have access to a secure, user-friendly portal to submit applications, file complaints, request services, and track the status of permits, inspections, and enforcement actions. This improves transparency while reducing response times and administrative delays. This is a strategic investment in modern government. This is a major step forward for the city of Crisfield, said Darlene Taylor, mayor of Crisfield. The iWork platform improves how we serve the public, manage city assets, and ensure fair, consistent enforcement of our local laws.
Thank you, Peter. We didn't get that on the screen, right? It would have been helpful to be able to follow you as you went along. So we're doing it as a press release, and you guys recall, you guys had approved us to go out and buy the software that will make it easier for our citizens to be able to request permits and you know, easy speak. What can they do?
They can search permits. They'll be able to pull up a map parcel of the city, see where all the permits are throughout the city, to include any issues that are happening, any work orders on particular placement throughout the city, anything that you can think of through the iWork portal once it's fully implemented.
Okay.
And there'll be some changes to our website that you'll see in the near future. I'm working with Fabian to make sure that we communicate this out clearly to the public, and it's easy, accessible, and easily to find the information.
And so if someone needed a permit, can they start online?
Yes,
Okay, as opposed to having to come to the office and look for you.
correct,
They can actually go online and do that, which is a big deal.
yes.
And I know, Brian, you said you're looking forward to your public works items
Yeah,
being
I'll talk
put
about
there.
it next.
You're gonna talk about how you're
That's
gonna be
what I'm doing.
integrated into iWork as well. Okay, good, fantastic.
And
So,
I also wanted to bring up tonight that I'm working through various chapters of the zoning code, we're gonna be making updates, going through the normal process through planning commission, board of zoning appeals as needed, and work with Andrew to update chapter 28, which is the grass cutting ordinance, nuisance laws that need to be held consistent throughout the city, as well as bringing some of the chapters back into the city code that are in my office that no one really gets to see, paper, and bring them electronically, put them in E-code so the citizens and everybody else can, review them and read them at their leisure.
okay, so we are coming into the 21st century, guys. We are trying to get as much of this stuff electronic and automated as possible. So thank you very much, Peter. I know that's been an effort. You did some initial research, looked at different products, brought it to the council, and this was your recommendation. So we look forward to getting as many of our departments into this system as possible. We know they can't get in there, but as many as possible. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you. Any questions on the iWork piece? Questions? Questions, council?
No questions? No questions.
Fantastic. You have one more thing I wanted you to share. You recall? The good news about the demolition permit. Demolition.
For Title Health.
Yes, so you want to share that with the public?
Yes, Title Health came in for a demolition permit to demolition the buildings down on West Main Street. The initial phase of it, they have to remediate because there's a lot of asbestos inside those buildings, so they're currently now remediating all the asbestos inside those buildings, and within the coming weeks, those buildings should be coming down.
Yes, and I did talk to them last night too, so yeah, we're definitely anxious to see some movement in that area, so.
Yes, and of course,
Thank
the
you.
whole project has to go in front of the planning commission
Yes,
to get approval and everything else, but the public will have input in it.
fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Mr. Fowler, you're moving a little slow. You okay?
Yeah, sat down for a while.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, long meeting. Okay, all right.
This will actually be a minute. Update on Public Works. First off, I want to thank everybody for approving the heat in the building. Morose came out Monday.
Good.
Building's heated. So we're moving on to the next phase of what that brings, which I got with Chief Lee today. And I will this week. We're gonna start doing all the oil changes, all the vehicle service to police cars. So that'll
Save
cut
us
down on a lot of
a lot
costs
of money,
of sending it up the road. And along with our own equipment. just having the heat makes it a lot more enjoyable to work on.
Oh, absolutely.
So going to the iWork software, I've worked with a gentleman named Jordan who's reached out to me. I'm going to use the iWorks program to the most of its capacity in terms of we're inventorying everything we have, from street signs, the poles that hold the street signs, all the roads, ditches, paving, all of it's gonna be uploaded into it from our end. We'll be able to generate work tickets in the shop, so guys can come in, we'll get a laptop set up so we can update in the shop so everyone's aware of what's going on. When LaFabian issues the work ticket, we can be a lot more proactive with jumping on it immediately and actually cut down on a paper trail,
Fantastic.
so much paper usage. So it's been like, we're going at it hard. I also want to include street sweeping when we have all the maps on the iWork software, then we are going to zone off the city into 4 quadrants so that we can send out to the community what zone will be what days. They'll be able to move the cars so we can get the streets better and all that kind of good stuff.
I'm excited about that.
So, and same with ditch maintenance. Ditch maintenance there'll be a schedule for ditch maintenance, and then we'll update on the site what ditches are being done what week, and so on and so forth.
And mowing.
And mowing, correct, yes. So, with all that, this was my plan, this has been a lot to take on, trying to get everything inventoried, but my plan is to have a newsletter kind of every month for what's going on in Public Works, so we can send that out through LaFabian to the community, so people kind of know what we've been up to and what's in the plan upcoming for, the next month.
That would be great. Absolutely. I think the public would appreciate that.
Yep.
I know I would.
So, and I know we tried to get this done going into fall, but we're gonna have the curb painting coming up again in the spring, so please be looking for that. We have all the materials ready to go. We did paint some curbs down by the high school, so we can kind of get some parking straight around Potomac Street and Columbia and all that.
And we're hoping to get some, kids for community service to
Correct,
help out
yes,
as well.
this will be
So-
for anybody, and I know we had some people reach out to me that wanted to participate last time, so I think we'll have a good turnout for it. Just need the weather.
Good. Fantastic.
So that's kind of where we're at with Public Works.
Good.
All right, so the next thing is recommendation for getting us, we had discussed at the last, getting a plow set up on a truck.
There you go.
So I reached out to 2 vendors. One vendor was like $16,000. Found a vendor in Annapolis. A plow and a spreader installed on the F-350 that we have, all brand new, installed, with our being a municipality discounted, would be about $9,106. That would outfit the truck to have plow and spreader. So we'd be able to take care of the city and jump right on it.
And I don't know where we are in Public Works budget right now, but we may have to wait till July.
Yeah, I just want, have it on the
It'll
radar.
go in our
I
July
really feel
budget.
like we could serve the city a lot better if we just bit the bullet, equipped it with one nice plow, something that'll last for years and be ready to go. The problem we have now is we do have a spreader that goes on the back of the Kubota. It's a seed spreader, fertilizer spreader kinda, and it just chucks rock salt 30 feet away. You're hitting cars, we can't do that.
No, too much of a liability.
Yeah,
But Brian has assured me that, with this, he can plow all of our streets so that we, don't
Yep,
have
we'll
the
get
issue.
every
And I
one
think
of
that
them.
was something you brought up the last time too as well. And so we had already asked him to go out and tell us how we can be snow ready in the future. So this is what he's come up with, and it doesn't sound unreasonable to me. But we would need council to approve that we would put this into our upcoming budget, to be able to get snow ready for the,
yep, and we would maintain,
next-
I
yeah.
had a whole
For the
fleet of
next
snow
season.
plows where I came from, so I maintained all of it, changed pumps, cutting edges, anything that needed, it would be done in-house. So it's basically just a one-time cost, and we'll take care of it from there. We'll desalt it every time we use it, so it doesn't rust up, all that good stuff.
yeah, that's an issue. So we just need someone to.
Just wanna have it on the radar.
Yep. Can I get a motion?
Do we need to wait till budget season, or do you want it now?
We need to wait. We gotta wait.
You're gonna set the budget for fiscal year
Yeah.
27.
Just wait and bring it
That'd
in
be
the
a
budget.
line item.
And the only thing you might have to do
Okay.
is just confirm the price come
At
budget
that time.
season, because
See if
we'll
it's
do
still
it
the
right
same.
away
Yeah.
once
Yeah, I just
July
wanted to give
hits.
everybody an idea of
So you
where
got
to
a
put it.
consensus. We have a
Yeah,
consensus
by
that we
far,
wanna move forward.
absolutely.
Okay, but we don't need to vote on it tonight. Is that what I
The only
hear?
thing would be is if he has the budget surplus at this time, and he.
We don't have a budget surplus.
Well,
right?
he's-
Yeah, that's a lot of hard work. We don't have a budget surplus.
I kinda feel bad bringing it up after everything going on.
No, and because we pray we're out of the worst of the snow, I think we can probably
Yeah, I think this season
survive.
will be okay, we can make it work. The good thing is like if we plow, we'll be able to open up our own streets at intersections with the tractor, any surplus snow, but this would do it, we could maintain the whole city.
Fantastic. Consensus, questions?
Yeah, in a way
ahead.
you answered, yes, it's a cost on the paper, but once you do the oil changes and all that, the savings will probably
Pay for it, absolutely.
offset it.
Yep,
So,
We're
yes,
trying to be as
it
self-sufficient
might
as
look
possible.
like there's a cost, but in the back end, it might not be.
It'll wash,
It will
absolutely.
and we do have a few items in the shop that came off some old F-450 dump trucks that we can surplus and get some of that back too. There's 2 in there that I know we can surplus, and I think there might be an old spreader box off of one of them, so.
Yeah, we
I
probably
was
should
gonna
look
get
at that
Joyce's serial
anyway.
numbers and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
so.
let's look at that, and that would give us a little bit of money.
Yep.
But there is one we're gonna keep in case we get another truck, cause then
Correct.
we could
Yep,
attach that
we do have
to
another
it.
snow dog that, if
Yeah.
that 350 was set up without the utility body, we could use, so.
Okay, any more questions, council, vice council?
No, just, thank Brian again for what he does, he keeps his pencil sharp, so great asset to the city in that department.
Thank you, and Councilman Langford?
Yeah, no question.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Believe it or not, we're getting down, what time is it? 8:20, still not 10 o'clock, that's when that's what it used to be. That's what it used to be. Okay, we've already done DJ, so we got through that, and so at this point, we wanna,
Do we need to
Do we need to go back to
reconvene
the
back on the
wastewater
wastewater or
and all
the
that
funds?
stuff, the funds and all that?
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to, and what, council was just reminding me is that we do have to make a decision as to what direction we wanna go in. I'm sorry, we have to make a decision as to what direction we wanna go in with the earmark. Because we have to have time to write the grant, that's what the issue is, that's the reason, only reason we can't wait to have the meetings, because we need time to write the grant. So, based on where we are, and the fact that what Councilman Patel was bringing up was the fact that we are looking at either bringing in an operator and or selling the plant. Do we want to apply for something different with this earmark? Because we are putting out 2 RFPs to the wastewater treatment plant, and we are putting in the SRF proposal as well. And it was in there, right? Both of those things in that proposal,
They're
Jen?
both in there, but I'm trying to remember the percent that they said was likely to be loaned. It's 60% or higher was likely to be loaned, so,
Okay,
yes, it's all in
it's
there.
in there. And that is going in now, right? We
It's
don't
going
know,
in.
the SRF, do we know how long it takes for that, to hear back from that? Whether or not we're awarded,
It's a year.
before we hear back as to whether or not it was awarded? I know it might take a year to get the
What-
money.
Oh, I don't recall how long it takes. I think it's a
Okay.
year till we get the money because it has to go before the Board of Public Works and all
Okay,
that. yeah.
all right, so keeping all that into consideration, guys, I brought that to you because it's a struggle. I'm not sure which direction we really wanna go in, and I wanted you guys to weigh in, and we need it to make sense at this particular stage. So, it was interesting that I saw in the paper, let's see, at that time, the design of the Northern Crisfield flood mitigation project was underway, but its progress was paused. So Governor Moore's FY '27 budget has $1 million that will restart that effort as the city continues to seek funding from other sources. I just read that, as a matter of fact, and I thought, really?
What?
Really? Really? So I think that bears some investigation. I'm not sure exactly where that came from, but it's in here, it's in the paper, it's in the paper from last week. So, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind in terms of, we have to figure out what that is, and how that even plays in, if it does or it does not. So, I'm sorry.
If I can just speak really quickly to the status of the 2 projects, the southern and the northern.
Come up, Jen,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna,
Sorry.
yeah, so that everybody can hear you. Yep.
We need to go home, but, so, You all may recall we have funds for 30% design of the southern project under phase one. It is very challenging to get design funds. We were given some leeway to use those funds for design because the FEMA project was dropped, but I don't currently know of another source to use for design. So the 30% of design of the northern is also crucial to being able to move the whole project forward.
And I'm not sure what you're telling us. Why did you bring
What
that
I'm
up?
telling you is if there is additional funds, it's about $2 million to get to 30% design, I believe.
I still missed the tie-in. What are you telling us?
If there's $1 million that we didn't know
Oh,
about, it may help
that's
us
something
get to
else.
30%
Okay,
design.
that's what I needed to make that
Sorry,
tie-in.
sorry.
Okay, all right, that's no problem. All right, thank you. So guys, here we go. We're gonna go around and you guys just give me your thoughts, what direction we wanna send Jen off in at this point. Anybody wanna start? Of course you do. Come on, Councilman Goldsboro. What, since we've been through the whole meeting, what are you thinking at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you know, from my standpoint, we know that even if we did look at the sale of the plan, it would probably be 18 months to 2 years before anything went through. You're looking at 18 months to 2 years to even receive any bit of funds from the
That's true.
grant, but the wastewater sewer treatment plant is significant, and there's nothing saying right now that something else major can't happen over there. Knock on wood, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I don't mind asking for the funds for the wastewater sewer treatment plant, but you know, I would say not be surprised if we do return that to the state or the federal government and not take on that burden because we look at selling this plant.
Okay. Thank you.
Same here. We can't wait. We got to do it, we got to do it for me. The wastewater treatment plant is a priority for everybody, the entire city. And outline, part of it.
So that's where you're saying we should put our efforts at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing, the wastewater thing would be most top priority.
Okay.
And if it's just for the public, that it's not like we're pushing away the Somerset or the
North Harbor.
Because if we don't do what's needed, we might not be able to flush toilets tomorrow. Let's hope not, but that's the top priority.
Yeah.
But that's the fact that we are dealing with, and we have no choice.
That's the bottom line, absolutely. We gotta get it taken care of. One of these things have to come through, right? Absolutely. Councilman Langford?
Yeah, I'm still good with, putting in for the wastewater treatment plant at this point. And if it comes to a point where we don't need it, then we don't need it, but at least we put it in time and hopefully we can get it. Regardless of what we do, we have to fix this wastewater treatment plant. And hopefully it doesn't cost us any more money than it already has to this point. So yes, I am in favor of this wastewater treatment.
Thank you. And Vice Counsel?
Yeah, let me make this something clear here. In this Earmark, Jim can answer this. The three items that are proposed to put into this Earmark, wastewater treatment, North Harbor Drive, and Somerset. Is this, when we write this Earmark, is it broken down into three categories, or is it one lump sum in case we get it or we don't get it? And the reason I'm asking this is because where we might be at in a year, 18 months from now, if it's approved, can we receive a certain part of it and reject the other? In other words, because the max could be out of range, and over our spending limit, as far as how we match that. So I just need to get some clarification there.
So Vice Counsel, let me clarify, and I know it's a little bit difficult, but let me clarify that we are choosing one of the three. We cannot apply for all three. So we're choosing one of the three to have Jen write for.
Well, I thought Jim proposed that this is what we were writing for all three of them, and then we made the decision that maybe just apply for one of them.
No, we are choosing to apply for one of the three.
Okay, all right, well, it's the wastewater treatment plant. I mean, that's what we're doing.
Okay, so I think we have a consensus, that we are going to go ahead and ask Jen to move forward with the wastewater treatment plant application for the, earmark. And then, of course, we have the opportunity at any point to decide not to take it on. And along with that, we will schedule a meeting for the debt ceiling. I think that definitely is appropriate. We have a lot of grants, we have a lot of things going on, and as a matter of fact, Joyce, we've had this conversation as well, that this is a meeting that needs to be had. So, we can, get that on the books, as well as, get a public meeting set up for looking at the options with the wastewater treatment plant. Okay, but we do need a motion to have Jen apply for the earmark. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
One more. Councilman Langford? He dropped off.
Doesn't look easy.
Right, he dropped off, but we do have,
Hold on, he's coming back.
he is? Okay, we'll get him recorded. Councilman Langford, we're taking a vote and we, everyone else has voted. Are you in favor of, Jen moving forward with the earmark?
Yes.
Unanimous? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, I do want to say that although we chose the wastewater treatment plant, we are definitely still looking for options for South Somerset, raising South Somerset. We are not giving that up. That is still a big priority for us, and we are looking at that. We are praying that the 36 million will come back, and we have been told it is not off the table. The question is when, and we don't know when. But we are not giving up on the 36 million that we were already already awarded. So we're not giving up on that. And then the North Harbor Drive is an issue that does have to be addressed, and we need to figure out how to do that in the future as well. Okay, so at this point, we will move to the next item, which is our public input.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We still need to decide on 150,000, I believe.
I think what we said is we'll come back to you guys with the options, like the better, we'll say if we go with the bank or if we go with, whatever options that we have. So we'll bring that back to
All
you.
donations.
Yeah, we'll write a check for that.
Right?
Okay.
Because
It's only
I have
$150,000.
letters.
What the?
No, we're good. We are good. Absolutely. Okay, so we will bring that back. That's not something that we will, it's gotta be done.
Sooner than.
Sooner rather than later, we have to make a decision, but we do believe we have time to explore which is the better alternative for funding for that one. And we'll bring it back to you guys before we do anything. Okay? And we are blessed to have the American Legion with us today, so we're gonna open it for public input, and then I appreciate you staying for the entire meeting.
Sure.
We had a conversation, and we have a major vote of confidence, and we appreciate you taking the time to come and share with us this evening. So introduce for those who don't know you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Absolutely.
For those who don't know, I'm Todd Chamberlain. I am the adjutant for the American Legion Post 16 here in Crisfield. And I spoke to the mayor before, and I just wanted to be able to come and address the council and the public in light of the recent activities and stuff that's been going on at the Legion. As you all know, there's been we've been in some times of turmoil and times of uncertainty. But what I wanted to bring to you guys is, even though it looks like things are kind of uncertain, that the American Legion, the Post, has taken all the steps that we needed to protect the Post and to protect our standing within the community. We are not closing, definitely, so we are definitely open for business constantly. And we are remaining steadfast in our commitment to the council, to the city of Crisfield, and to the community, and to all of the various charities and organizations that we support. All the events and stuff that the American Legion hosts and everything that carries on, those will continue unaffected. nothing as far as our course of business will be affected due to the nature of these events. So I just wanted to, if anybody has any questions or concerns, I'll try and answer them and to the best of my abilities at this time with information that I can divulge without, compromising the integrity of any investigation or prosecution.
Todd, we thank you. As a matter of fact, that wasn't something that you had to do, but we appreciate it. The American Legion has been an outstanding organization in our community, and you have the city's full support. I know I can speak for everybody here when I say that. We appreciate everything that you do to support our community, and more than that, we just appreciate the service of the American Legion and the service of those who have fought for our country. So we just thank you for everything that you do. We appreciate it. We appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us. There is no doubt in my mind you have 100% vote of our confidence in continuing the organization.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I know I don't respond to public comment, but just to be clear for the public's sake, you guys are still accepting letters from nonprofits
Correct.
for support. You're still funding
Exactly.
in the community. That's a huge thing that I want everybody to understand. The American Legion is still moving forward with supporting the community.
100%.
If you have a
100%.
nonprofit, please, get letters into them.
Letters,
They love the
send
support,
them to us.
and they still are.
Yep.
And that's an excellent point. You
Yeah,
supported the
it's
village
our-
even since
yes,
all of this has
our
happened. So we
charity.
thank you. Absolutely.
The Village Youth Center, that's the It Takes a Village?
Yes,
Okay.
you guys have been
I want to
fantastic.
talk with you about that after this.
Absolutely, you guys have been
So,
fantastic.
But one other thing that I wanted to let you all know while I'm here, in our recent meeting, we had a request come from the city council in regards to using our facilities for the clam bake this coming year because they can't use it downtown or something. Is there something like
It
that?
wouldn't have come from us, I don't think.
Maybe the
That's the
same- maybe
chamber.
from the
That'd be the
chamber.
chamber.
Cause it came to our post, it came to the last meeting and we did approve it, so, get with me after.
We'll try to figure out what that request was.
More about that, see what's going on there.
Because it's still a chamber event, but
Still
it's,
chamber event.
there's a chair, so I don't know if Scott Dawes or Danny has done
Reached out for
and
that.
we are,
As reached, okay, that might be where it's coming from,
That's
but,
where-
yeah, well, so, I've got some good news for you on that.
Thank you. You guys are always supporting, and we are so grateful for your support. And so thank you for reminding me, but I couldn't resist. Absolutely.
I had you too. I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you. Okay, and our youth council wasn't able to be with us this evening. There's a game tonight as well.
And Thursday and Friday, tonight, there's a game tonight, and I think Friday they're honoring the seniors or something like that too. They have a lot going on this
seniors.
week.
and-
Yeah.
Was there any other public input?
Anyone else? Thank you. Oh, yeah, Mr. Chairs, please. You have to stand up and tell everybody who you are. Come on, Mr. Chairs, thank you.
Bill Chairs, I live in Crisfield. I haven't lived here all that long, but everything I've heard about problems have been about flooding and the wastewater plant. I think Crisfield doesn't have a problem now, but it could. It's much more serious than that, combined. The three most dangerous towns and cities in Maryland are Landover Hills, Baltimore, and Princess Anne. As of August 18th of 2025, Salisbury has just replaced Landover Hills. The three safest towns in Maryland are Ellicott City, Ocean Pines, and Berlin. A $100,000 house in Princess Anne is $600,000 in Berlin and $700,000 in Ocean Pines. If you want to turn a $700,000 house into a $100,000 house, you move it from Ocean Pines to Princess Anne. Now, if you look at the statistics that I saw, obviously for the first time from the chief, these are exponentially lower than any small town I can think of. I go on a internet site called NICH, NICAG.com, and they give you all the demographics, income of the residents, crime statistics. And if you look at Princess Anne, you will never go there again, not at night. If you look at Crisfield, you'll feel safe. And Crisfield, you know, it's either gonna become Princess Anne or it's gonna become Ocean Pines. And if I was gonna promote Crisfield, I would say Crisfield has the highest paid police officers on the Eastern Shore. People look at schools and they look at crime. The probably three most expensive cities on the East Coast, and I've lived in all of them, so I speak from some personal experience, are Miami, Charleston, and Annapolis. They have horrific flooding problems, worse than Crisfield. They're all thriving. The areas that are flooded have businesses that are thriving, have huge real estate values, okay? So, you know, Crisfield's not alone with the flooding. Crisfield, in my humble opinion, Crisfield's biggest challenge is not confronting the flooding, but it's preventing crime. Far and away, far and away. I don't know if I should say this with Mr. Councilman Banks, but I told him last week, and I'm not riding any white horse here, believe me, but I asked him last week if he'd want to go to Easton with me to try to meet with a guy named Paul Prager. He has 6 $300,000 cars that I know of. He owns the town of Easton. He bought every building in the historic district, remodeled all of them. He's a philanthropist, and he loves the Eastern Shore, Naval Academy grad, and he could write a check for $300,000 and not miss it. I think the city council should approach him. He's down to earth, he's approachable, he loves the Eastern Shore, and like I said, he bought the town of Easton and redid every building in it. $300,000 to him is a bar tab. And I think you should approach him. So, I'm gonna try to go see him next week. Councilman Banks has been offering to buy me lunch that day, so I don't know if he still wants to go. I mean, I've been here 3 years, I think, and everyone I talk to has gotten more and more comfortable with the crime rate in Crisfield. And that's what I hear from people that talk to me. And like I said, anything I can do to help the police department, computers, whatever. I know people who can contribute if it's legal. I don't know much about legalities, but you know, if it's legal, I consult your counsel.
It's not.
No. You know, to me, you want to promote Crisfield, you say we have the highest paid police officers on the Eastern Shore.
We thank you, Bill. I do apologize because I didn't tell you before you started. We do 2 minutes, but yeah, we did. I wanted to be gracious, and I do appreciate. You know, I promise you, we hear you. You know, there's no question about it. We appreciate that you care enough about the town to let us know what you're seeing and the things that we need to be concerned about. So I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't.
It's all about crime. I've been studying populations and communities go up and down. It's all about crime.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I do know that we were on that list at one point, just so you know, that safest cities list.
I know.
We were on that list,
I know.
absolutely. And I think we're still on it.
You
We may
are.
not be number 3.
You
We're
are.
on it, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So thank you so much, Bill. I
All
appreciate you. Yep, thank you.
Mr. Chair, you were on the oath there. Did you say something that?
He's gone,
He's gone.
He's gone, Councilman Banks.
That was quick.
He's gone, Vice Council, absolutely. So is there any more public input? Just visiting us today? Okay. All right, okay, guys, thank you so much. At this point, we're gonna have our council comments. And I've been starting with you all night, Councilman Goldsboro, so I might as well start with you again. What you got for us?
It's a late night, I'm gonna keep it short. You know, just going off what Mr. Cherry said. I love living in the city of Crisfield. I feel safe every night I come home, so I understand his concern of other areas. I don't know the studies and the research about them, but I'm thankful for our chief and our police department and the work that they do. I mean, if I could have it my way, I'd pay as much money as anybody could. But, you know, coming from probably one of the poorest tax base, you have to be realistic.
Exactly.
But no, I am extremely thankful for what our chief and our police department does.
Thank you. Okay. Councilwoman Johnson,
I'm gonna be brief because it's been a long.
speak up.
I'm gonna be brief because it's been a long night. A special thank you to all of you, the employees, thank you all for coming out, but especially employees, the chief, and all the employees and all that you do. We couldn't do any of this without you all. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Yep, it's, once again, I'm gonna ask public to help us because it's flushing this, that, trash on the streets, all that does not help us. It puts us in a situation where, oh, we gotta raise these or we gotta raise that. If you do not help us and then later on say, hey, you raised this by that much, well, there is a reason we have been requesting not to do that, where all these people doing this fine job as a council and elected officials, we don't do the work that this guy puts out. They got always on the streets, middle of the night, whatever, whatnot, and they need your help. We need your help. You gotta understand some of these things, and it can always help us keep your living costs down in a city of Crisfield. So please think about it that way, and I wish we could make police department highest paid on the Eastern Shore, but I don't believe we are anywhere near.
You appreciate he's not looking up, right? There's a reason for that. Thank you, Councilman Patel. We wish, absolutely.
We wish.
Absolutely, absolutely. Councilman Langford, what you got for us?
Well, that high stage, what I was even sure, almost made me come out of retirement.
Absolutely.
I just want to thank everybody for what you're doing. Chief, you're doing a great job. DJ and Brian, thank you very much for everything that you're doing there. And even though it was a long meeting, it was a very informative meeting. So I thank everybody for what they're doing and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Vice Council Banks.
Yeah, just, iterate what everybody else says. Thanks to, all the department heads and staff of the city of Crisfield. Keep moving forward.
Thank you, and I'm going to be brief as well. I am exhausted running down the road, but you guys know how I feel. You guys are doing an amazing job, the entire staff, everyone. And I know that you guys are working hard. We got a lot of problems, but I do, and we all appreciate that you guys are working hard to keep the city up and running. And you guys know that I'll call you anytime, day and night. Yes, absolutely, no question, because we're going to do all that we can to try to keep the city running. We have come a long way, and I will say that without hesitation, but we have a long way to go, and we understand it. And so I just want the public to understand that we have a focus, and we are going to get to the place that we need to get to. And as Jennifer will tell you, you know, you achieve what you focus on. There's no question. And so we are going to focus on the issues that we have in front of us and drive to a solution. That's who we are. That's what we have to do. We got to get this under control for this wastewater treatment plant, and that will be something that we're going to put our time and our energy into making sure it does happen. So I want to thank everybody. I see the city moving forward. I think iWorks is an amazing tool. We're going to find a grant tool as well, but I think that'll be great for our standard public issues. I'm hearing a lot from the community, even that we're looking at cleaning up the community. I think that's been a big thing too. I want to thank everybody for the work that they're doing there. We're seeing some of these houses come down. I think that's a big deal. But again, I want to encourage, and I did meet with the long-term recovery. They are still focused on helping our community, helping to build houses and to elevate houses. But it just reminded me to say to the public, we currently have a house that's built that we need to put someone in. So we are trying to get someone qualified for the house that is on 329 Tyler Street. We need to get someone qualified for that house. So if you're interested, it's a 3-bedroom home. And I talked to Kim, we are going to do, as soon as the weather breaks, we're going to do an open house. And we're going to see if we can get someone to come out and fall in love with it and try to get, it's going to be affordable. It's going to be, I don't want to be wrong, so I won't say exactly how much, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of not more than $150,000 for a 3-bedroom house. And we know today that's more than affordable. So, just wanna put that out there, if, we're gonna help you get through the process and try to qualify. Other than that, I thank you again for all the work that you're doing to keep us moving. And with that,
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
I heard all the ayes tonight.